Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Bandwidth for All About Android is provided by CacheFly at CacheFly.com.
This episode of All About Android is brought to you by Gazelle. Would you like to get cash for your old HTC or other Android device? Gazelle makes it easy. The shipping is free and the payment is fast. What's your smartphone worth? Find out at Gazelle.com. And by Braintree. Even the best mobile app won't work without the right payments API. That's where the Braintree V10 SDK comes in. One amazingly simple integration gives you every way to pay. Try out the sandbox and see for yourself at braintreepayments.com/Android. And by lynda.com, the online learning platform with over 3,000 on-demand video courses to help you strengthen your business, technology, and creative skills. For a free 10-day trial, visit lynda.com/allaboutandroid. That's lynda.com/allaboutandroid. Hello and welcome to another episode of All About Android, episode 234, recorded on Tuesday, October 6, 2015. We're your weekly source for the latest news, hardware, and apps for the Android faithful. I'm Jason L.
I'm Ron Richards.
And I'm a broken flow today.
Oh, you broken?
Yes. I'm going to be stiff like this the entire time.
Broken flow.
You're sitting in the perfect seat. So what happened?
I just stretched.
Just life happened.
Age.
That's what happened.
I'm learning.
All right, fair enough. We've all been there. I had my back go out like a couple of weeks ago. I felt like, man, like you turn 40.
I'm in good company.
And
all about aging.
Yeah,
speaking all about aging, my back hurts.
That actually works because of the whole continued A thing. Welcoming back to the show, Ron Amadio, Ars Technica, general writer of many, many words on the internet. How's it going, Ron?
What's up, guys? It's awesome to be here. I'm glad that I'm free. I'm unshackled from my desk now that my my review is done.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, as I say, it's been a pretty slow month for you, right, Ron? I mean, not much going on.
Yeah, really. No, I've been working on that thing for probably like a month, maybe, just on and off, and yeah.
We're going to talk all about that news because there is a lot to get to inside that story. Basically, it involves this thing called Marshmallow. If you haven't heard of it, we'll talk about it here in a second. Before we do, I want to also welcome to the show Justin Baum. He's the VP of UX for Wove. How's it going?
Great. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, it's good to have you here. You guys are based in San Francisco. Had a call with Blade from Wove, who's actually sitting right over there, waving at us in the audience. Audience of one, by the way. And
it's a great audience. Thank you, Blade.
We had kind of a Hangouts chat with Blade for a little while and got to see some really cool technology that you're going to show off here in a little bit.
Yeah, we've got some great flexible display technology to show you, and maybe some wearable discussion we can have.
Yeah, it was absolutely once we found out about this, it was like we need to get this on the show because this is the future. So I'm psyched. So
it's cool.
It's gonna be cool.
It's running Android, so
which is awesome.
So everybody can kind of look forward to that. We're going to definitely get into that here in a few, but as we normally do, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to be discussing the official release of Marshmallow that happened a couple of days ago. Wove's obviously their new take on wearable technology, doing some really cool stuff there. The Amazon Fire, which I have in its little blistery wrapped pack. We got a 6-pack, by the way. We got a 6-pack of these things. Here's one.
It could have came from Amazon or Costco.
Yeah, you really don't know, but it's interesting nonetheless. The LG V10 and a whole lot more. Before we get to all the craziness, let's get first to the news.
And now it's time for Android News.
I appreciate that you went with the old man shaky voice.
Well, it was almost as if the old timey announcer has aged and it's real time. Yeah, he's getting a moment to relive the spotlight like he did back in the 20s.
Following the theme of this episode.
I don't have any idea what you guys are talking about. Where am I?
Whippersnappers.
I'm scared.
That is Josh Windich filling in for the half here, half not Brian.
Yeah, the sometimes here, Brian.
Anyways.
We miss you, Brian. But always good to have Josh, despite his allegiance to Max.
It's okay. We're working on him. Yeah. So, Flo.
First order of business.
Yeah, I
mean, I don't know if you guys heard, but there was a software update the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Ron probably has a lot to talk. The other Ron.
Not me.
The Ron
has a lot to talk about.
Amadio. Yeah. So okay. So first of all, how many words in your?
That's a good question.
Well, it's 15,000 words.
Ouch.
But it's not quite done yet because I can't get auto backup to work. So when I can get auto backup to work, there will be more words. They're coming. But yeah, so Android 6.0 Marshmallow came out. That was basically the thing. So it's a new version of Android. There's Google Now on tap. Like you can just hold the home button down and you'll do it'll do, like contextual search of all the stuff that's on your screen and permissions and fingerprint API and all sorts of stuff.
Let me see here. I'll see if I can.
What did you search for first, Ron, with Google Now on tap?
I just ran it on a web page, and it's really weird. Like, if you remember those old Bing commercials, search overload, where people would just kind of spout off random, search queries for just proper nouns. That's kind of what Now on Tap is like, where like you open it up and it'll give you like just Google search links for all sorts of words on the page, and it's kind of weird. I don't know that I like it really.
I've been kind of digging it. Here, Josh, if you have the feed, I can show you this post by a Ron Amadio on Google Plus saying going on All About Android in a few minutes. I don't know what that is, but anyways, I'll go ahead and do Google Now on tap. And hopefully,
magic.
There you go. It gives live.twit.tv. It gives Taylor Wimberly. He may have been below you, or maybe he dropped a comment during that screenshot that I took. All about Android, and you've got all the kind of contextual things, right? Like the YouTube feed for All About Android. You've got live.twit.tv. You can jump to the website.
That's when it gets really useful. Like I was kind of struggling to find a use for it because I would tap on the top of the card, like the biggest touch target, but that just does a Google search, which isn't very useful. But when you can jump direct from that into an app, like you can tap on
like Galaxy S5.
Like you could tap on YouTube or something and immediately get like YouTube will pop up and you'll get videos of whatever your thing was, just to immediately go from like one app to another without having to go through a search engine is kind of neat and actually saves you time. But those are the tiniest buttons on that interface, which is kind of weird.
Yeah, it's cool. I appreciate the extra context that it brings, and I'm curious to use it more.
Bigfoot's a mythical creature. Thank you, Google. Good to know.
So beyond Now on Tap, what were some of your favorite features in Marshmallow while you were doing this whole 15,000 word diatribe?
Well, auto backup sounds like a really cool idea.
When you can get it to work.
Right, yeah, when I can get it to work. So, there's always kind of been this gap in between like iOS and Android, where iOS will back up all your stuff, and Android, when you like erase your phone or get a new phone, it'll re-download your apps, but none of your data is really there. So the auto backup system will actually take like your entire app data folder and just kind of throw it on the internet to be backed up, which sounds really neat. Like in theory, you won't have to log back into Dropbox and Evernote and all these other third-party services. You'll just be able to, turn the app on and it'll work. But I haven't gotten it to work, and I've talked to a ton of people. I've talked to some people at Google about it, and I'm still trying to get it to work. And you guys can try. Who has a Marshmallow device right now?
Well, this 5 is running Marshmallow, and then I have a 6
For
that's
how
running.
long?
I literally just flashed this about 2 hours ago. I've had my Nexus 6 running Marshmallow since yesterday.
Okay, on the Nexus 6 it might work. So in order for a backup to happen, the phone needs to be idle for at least an hour and connected to Wi-Fi and charging. So basically when you go to bed, auto backup is supposed to kick on and save all of your data.
Should there be any indication that happened? Like when you wake up, like auto backup complete?
No. But if you open up Google Drive and go to the settings, you can see a thing that says like manage backups. And it'll be a list of all your apps that got backed up. But for me, it's always blank. On a couple devices, actually. I can't get it to work on my Nexus 5 or my Nexus 6. And Andrew Cunningham, who also works at ours and has another Marshmallow device, he can't get it to work either. So, that screen. So all of those apps there are Google apps, and they actually opt out of the backup system. which is kind of weird. Like Google's going to do its own thing for backups, but right now they don't opt out of the backup system comes with so many like little caveats and requirements to work. You need to be targeting API 23, which is like the latest version of Android, but that's like a super small number of apps right now. So when I can actually get this to work, the expected number of apps that it will work on is very, very low. So like we need developers to all kind of update their applications to target the newest version, and then they'll kind of be compatible with app backup. But that would be really neat.
Hard for me to show, except for going like this, because I think the number of TriCaster inputs that we are running on is like
we're in the
over
red.
by 3 at this point.
Okay, so what's on your list? Is that the whole device?
This is managed backups, apps backed up to Google Drive.
What is that?
Gmail, Google App, Google Keyboard, Google Play Store, News and Weather.
Any third-party stuff?
No, nothing.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah,
nothing
that's all. That all uses the old Google system.
Call log backup and restore. Yeah. That's,
and you've had that. You've gone to sleep with that flashed to Marshmallow? Okay.
Yes, and plugged in. So some of these were backed up yesterday, some today.
But they're all the Google apps, so none of that uses the new system. So the new system is part of Play Services, and they can update it without having to mess with the operating system.
Got it.
Which will be super nice because I think they need to. But I've had people look at my phone and like look at the back end server stuff, and they're like, everything works, it should work, but it doesn't work. I don't know why.
So if it works while the phone is idle, does that interrupt the doze mode, or does it still?
Doze mode is for when it is unplugged.
Okay.
When it's plugged in.
That's true, right?
In Lollipop they added the job scheduler, which is this really neat thing that just kind of says, it works one way on battery, and then when you plug into an electrical port, it's a free-for-all. Like everything wakes up and connects to the internet and updates, and apps run like, database cleanup processing and all this other stuff that it just all waits until you have, unlimited power and data and all that.
I have noticed that when I've turned on the Wi-Fi and then plugged in my phone at home, and then all of a sudden it's just like a waterfall, and the phone slows down, apps start updating, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna go away.
Yeah, it gets all hot.
Yeah.
I get like 3 voicemails from my dad. Where are you? Call me back. Sorry, Dad.
Sorry, I never called you back 5 days ago.
Doze mode is another neat one where if you just unplug the phone and leave it alone, it'll kind of slowly go deeper and deeper to sleep as the kind of hours and minutes pass and stuff.
Like
and it uses your phone's accelerometer in part to know whether so like if you have it in your pocket, it won't fall asleep. So like if you have a phone and you haven't touched it in a while and it's unplugged, if you pick it up without turning the screen on, like it'll wake up, and things will start connecting to the internet, and you'll like get all these notifications that didn't show up at first. Which is really cool. The idea is that you'll be able to have like better standby time on par with iOS, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Particularly, I feel like that's really helpful for tablets, because so often you have a tablet, you leave it, you've charged it up, you use it for a little while, you set it on your, next to, the remote stand, whatever, next to the couch or wherever you put your remote, and then you come back to it the next day.
Yep.
And like with tablets have passed in Android, you've lost 30 or 40% of your battery by it just sitting there, which is ridiculous.
And then 2 days go by, and then you're like, oh, I need it, and you pick it up, and it's black.
No, I'm not.
Like, why isn't it working? Yeah. So
that'll
really
I've
been a victim of that. So I'm looking. Doze is probably the thing I'm most excited about because the amount of time that I'll be like somewhere like here, like putting my phone on the desk and not touching it, and, and like those are times where it shouldn't be operating all the way through. Like at work when you put it on your desk and you go to meetings and things like that.
So like that's where I've really personally seen a big.
And that's what helps you get through the day. Like that's my biggest complaint now about the Nexus 5 is I can't get through the day. So
I think it'll help. I hope it'll help.
I'm curious how it's going to work with like smartwatch.
Yeah.
Did you try it with the Android Wear Watch, Ron? Other Ron?
No, there's no Marshmallow for smartwatches yet.
Oh, duh, that's right.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that you would want a watch to go to sleep. I mean, you need to check the time and all this other stuff.
Well, I mean, I'm curious
would the
if
watch
like,
keep the phone
up.
The
notifications.
Oh, actually, in my stupid debugging for the auto backup thing, I just decided to disconnect the watch too. I'm like, maybe that's stopping it from doing auto backup, and like I got a new charger and all this other stuff. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll work this time, and I can write a bunch about auto backup, because there's like all this stuff I want to test. Will it back up your alarms and your logins and all of the other weird settings that are all over the place? Like I want a backup system that really works, and I'll never have to like clear tutorial flags where it's like, welcome to Gmail. Gmail is like email, but like every time you.
I already know this. I've known this for so long.
I understand how Gmail works.
Yeah, at this point. Anything that I don't know, like you posted this basically on the day that Marshmallow was officially rolled out, which means that the version that rolled out was different from the version that you reviewed up to that point. Is that right? And were there any changes that you had to make kind of last minute as a result of that?
Nope. I got the final version about a week ago, maybe.
Wow.
Look who's Mr. Cool Man.
Jerk. All right,
but no, there's no major differences really. There's bug fixes, and you get the monthly security update thing. The really cute thing they added to the status is it now says what security version you are on. Like
I saw that today. You've been updated. You're safe.
Yeah,
you're okay.
The best thing ever though is that it's a month. Like it's not like a version number where you can't tell how old it is. It's just straight up like your security update is from October. So like when OEMs finally get this will be a great way to like shame them, where people just look in the about thing and it's October and their security things is like April because that's the last major update they got. So that'll be super fun.
I'm tapping endlessly on Android security patch level just to see if there's like a little Easter egg hidden in there.
For Easter eggs. Oh. The Easter egg is multiplayer now. I can't believe it. The Flappy Bird thing.
Oh, it's multiplayer?
Yeah, like when you crash, which will happen very quickly, there's plus and minus buttons next to the score, maybe, and like you press them and then multiple players will happen. Because like when you click it's Flappy Bird, and when you so crash, good job. Do you have plus and minus buttons next to the score?
Maybe it's covered by I saw it when you started it.
Oh, here. Let me go back.
Yeah.
I'll hold.
Okay.
Maybe.
I read about this. I have not actually tried it. But there is just long press it and it should open.
Yeah,
maybe.
That's what I'm doing. Okay, now it did.
Okay, so there's the plus.
Hit plus. And so now you should have 3 Androids and it's multi-touch. So you can all gather around the phone and go for it.
Oh boy, this
Here, let's do 2.
Let's watch you do this.
There you go. Ready?
Okay, this isn't going to be confusing at all. So not only is it impossible for one person to make it through a single pass,
0.
Yeah, neither of you will ever make
maybe
it.
We could do it. Maybe if we did it on a smaller screen.
I win. It should at least allow. Well, no, I guess neither of us won.
Yeah.
Does it allow the other person to continue going? Oh, it's so confusing. This was difficult to begin with, and this just makes it even more difficult.
Here, ready? Watch
this. You just want to win, don't you?
That should be my app arena.
Maybe
you can visibly block people. Oh.
Anyway, all right.
This is great.
Easter egg.
My question, I guess, Ron, is after diving deep into it and writing practically a novella about it, thumbs up, thumbs down. What's the Ron review?
It's good. There's a lot of I like that there's a lot of kind of ecosystem stuff that Google needed to do that app developers and OEMs and stuff can't. So there's a fingerprint API and permissions, selectable app permissions and stuff like that that'll make the platform kind of stronger and ready for the future. Like we're gonna have all these apps now that do that will actually support the fingerprint API, and you'll be able to, log into Target or something with your fingerprint. Where, when Samsung was doing that, apps were never going to support this weird proprietary solution from one OEM. So it's, like anything else, kind of geared for the future. Google operating system releases never really come all at once. I'm sure we'll continue to see like a flood of app updates and things that don't work right now, like auto backup, will start to work in the next couple of weeks, I'd imagine, and it'll be really nice. Like it's a decent update. The biggest problem is there's still no way to get this update out to everybody that's out there. They really need like a centralized update system, and they still don't have one.
Preach.
And easily the #1 problem with Android right now. Like security is a huge issue. Even with a Nexus device, when you get monthly updates, those monthly updates, because of the rollout system, still take like 2 weeks to get to everybody.
Yeah.
And in real security land, like Microsoft, you know, apps hit when updates happen, they happen that day. Like it's Patch Tuesday, you're getting an update right now.
Yeah.
And that's how real security works. And Android is like so far behind the curve, where it's like, you'll kind of get updates once a month in this weird 2-week period, and that's like a huge victory for them. Like they're just setting the bar so low, and that's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is you will never get an update on your device, and you know OEMs will never send it to you, carriers will never send it to you. It's really bad, and they really need to address it. And here's hoping for 7.0 that there's some kind of update system.
I don't know, man. I'm hoping every single time, and it never gets any better. Speaking of that, it's a great segue kind of into who's getting it. Obviously, Nexus 5, 6, 7, 9, and Player are kind of getting it now, although, like you say, now equals 2 weeks, depending on how it rolls out to you.
I had to flash mine on the 6th.
I'm waiting to get it over the air, and I've not gotten it.
I actually did yesterday.
You got it?
Yeah.
Oh,
you did?
Yeah.
You were one of the...
Do you feel like you won the lotto?
I do
Like,
not deserve it. It's my secondary phone, not my daily driver. And
oh, it wasn't even the... Oh, man.
I don't know what I did. Yeah. Probably you guys.
Interesting.
Is there anything more exciting than seeing that little microchip icon?
Totally.
Like,
like, yes, I will.
Yeah.
Of course, if it's 10 minutes before the show, maybe I won't.
Yeah, or like in the middle of traffic when you're using maps to try and figure out where you're going.
Don't update your system when you're driving. Google Play Edition, no word or guarantee at this moment. Android One partners with Android One have committed to an 18-month update cycle, so you can expect that they probably will. But hey, who knows nowadays? HTC One, M9, M8, and variants, as well as a few of the Desires, are committed to updates by the end of the year or soon thereafter. Sony, no timing given, but most of the devices dating back as far as the Xperia Z2 family are going to see an update. Samsung, LG have not announced any plans at this time. And I'm leaving Motorola last because, boy, did they not do a good job in pleasing its hardcore
They didn't
fans.
have a very good weekend.
They did not. Motorola 2015 devices will all be updated. That is, unless you bought the 2015 Moto E. This year's Moto E will not get updated to Marshmallow as far as what we know right now. They didn't include it on their list, so we can only expect that. 2014 devices will get updated, except Moto E and Moto X Carrier Edition. So if you got a Moto X on Verizon or AT&T or whatever, don't expect to get an update to Marshmallow. Droid Turbo will, however. J.R. Raphael wrote, Motorola, you've let us down, calling Motorola to task for the fact that it's had a renaissance of sorts in the past couple of years, and part of that has been built around its dedication to vanilla Android and to timely updates. I don't know if they've up until this. I don't know if they've necessarily kind of met their commitment to updates 100%, but they've done an okay job. This kind of
They were the best
that.
so far. They were the best so far with having updates, no matter the carrier that you were on. Well, unless you were on Verizon, then you're just SOL.
Yeah, but when you're on Verizon, you choose your own fate.
Yes, I know.
I've
I've come to terms with that myself.
Yes.
Thank you very much. But yeah, it's not. And I think that actually JR made a really good point in his article about, like, I wonder if this has to do with the whole, like, Lenovo taking over. Like, is this sort of the Lenovo family? Is this what they're about? Which could be kind of weird considering that Lenovo's been getting a lot of trouble in the Windows sphere as well for bloatware and things like that. So already they don't have the best track record.
Something afoul in Lenovo land.
The whole question with that was like when Google rehabilitated Motorola, and then when Lenovo took them over, it's like, will Lenovo ruin Motorola? And it looks like the answer is yes. I mean, so many people have complained about this, and there's been like such an outcry about it that if they really weren't going to update them, or if they were going to update the Moto E, I think they would have said something by now, unless their PR is like really, really, really bad. And they're not. I mean, how many months old is this phone? It's like, it's a few months, and they're just
and
like,
it's a phone for emerging markets, which is also like really And that's not a good thing because that's saying like, hey, I know you didn't want to give us a bunch of money, but bye. Sorry.
Well, how about this? A couple of months ago, they were still touting the Moto E with this following quote: "While other smartphones in this category don't always support upgrades, we won't forget about you, and we'll make sure your Moto E stays up to date after you buy it."
That's a good find.
Ouch.
So,
Yeah.
sorry, Motorola, that's not making very many people happy. All right, so Marshmallow, I think we're all excited.
I'm excited, as always.
Ron's excited to be done with his article, mostly.
So, Ron, what's your next book about?
No, man, my next book is auto backup. I got to get that to work. And then Nexus devices are coming, and I got to write about those.
Yep.
And,
well, I looked it up, and if your article is 15,000 words, it's actually a novelette. And you need you need an additional 2,500 words on auto backup to get to the novella.
Put a romance story in there.
There you go. You just need 17,500 words, Ron. I know
Turn
you can
it into a grocery store novel. Put some romance in there.
like a buff Android dude on the cover.
I think your mic might be fading.
Me?
Yeah, it sounds like it's kind of getting all crackly or faded. I think maybe there's a connection issue or something. That would be my guess. Just doing a little live troubleshooting. Yeah, I'm not sure. Work on it. We're going to talk a little bit. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I know. You work on that and see how it goes. We have, obviously, Wove in the house. Justin Baum, who's the VP of UX.
You got it.
Explain that. What
I thought, what's the first
UX? What does a VP of UX do with a technology that's so new?
Literally,
like Wove.
Was hoping you wouldn't ask that question out the gate when I was driving.
What do you do here? What exactly do you do here?
So I'm, 10 years into having that title. A title that has the two letters U and X in them, and so I have a canned answer that'll provide for you.
Sure.
Yeah. There's two ways to look at it. There's UX, the thing, right? The thing that all engineers, designers, bosses, they all work on it. It's what we work to deliver to people. And then there's UX, which I think is an umbrella term for like 40 different disciplines, right? So I identify with interaction design, which is about behavior, about studying users' needs, about creating products that answer those needs.
Anticipating what a user might want to do.
And then that, there's a bunch of fallout from that, like user research and UI design. HCI has this huge heritage that kind of predates the term UX, I assume. People would probably beat me up in the comments for that, but yeah.
What is the I saw this meme going around or whatever, but it was like the difference between UI and UX, and like UI is the path that the landscapers built to get from point A to point B across a courtyard, and UX is the dirt path that people actually take to get from point A to point B.
It's really good.
Right?
I've never heard that one.
Yeah. So it's much better visually. So it's somewhere on the internet. I'm sure you find it. But that's the example. Like UI is what is designed, but UX is the experience. Is actually how users do it.
Another way to look at it is UI guys, and people always overlap, right? But UI guys are generally going to be the ones that know iOS the best, and they know the human interface guidelines to the T, and they can tell you how every control works and when to use it and when not to use it. They're probably pixel people. They want to make things look beautiful from a graphic design perspective. The interaction designers are more about the people and the customer and understanding them and designing that dialogue between the user and the system that's being built. But all the cool kids these days, they want to be product designers. That no one wants the UX title anymore.
Right. It's a bit passé now. We still like that you're doing UX though.
Okay.
But so we're here.
We think you're cool.
Yeah,
I appreciate that, guys.
Well, we're going to think you're cool even more so after we see all this. So you're here today because last week Wove launched, right?
Yeah, we did some announcements.
So for anybody who might have missed the announcement, what is Wove?
Yes.
Well, Wove it's a wrist device. It's a wearable.
Okay.
It's not a smartwatch. It's a product that has a display that literally wraps around your wrist, and that display, the whole product is flexible, and flexible is an abused term in the industry. I think things that are rigid and curved might be considered flexible under some companies.
We've seen that around.
Yeah,
we've seen that in Samsung's marketing.
You have to flex it.
You do, yeah. Ours,
exactly. How is it flexible? That's a good point. Ron Amadio said this.
Yeah.
How is it flexible?
You can imagine the product marketing discussions that fall out of this. The frustration. The reality is those products aren't flexible. Curved TV is not flexible, nor is a curved, rigid OLED display on your wrist. But ours is truly flexible. It's dynamically, mechanically flexible, unlike any other product that's been released in the market. So we hope to release the first product with a truly flexible display. And I actually brought some display modules for you guys to check out.
And they look like snap bracelets. I just have to say, I want to snap them on my wrist and just have them go all around.
Yeah, so these are actual displays that will be in the product. And obviously the display needs to be surrounded by a mechanical structure that supports it. But it is, I mean, this thing is bendy. When I first saw this, it blew my mind. You can, the product won't actually do this, but you can roll it up and it's fine. You know, you can do that over and over and over again.
Now, why won't the product actually do that?
Great question. Because the wrist isn't actually that size, right? Yeah. So the mechanical structure that supports the display has to conform to the wrist, and it also has to protect the product itself. The other great thing about these displays is it allows the device to transform. Yeah. You know, smartwatches, watches in general, are an artifact that we're all really familiar with. It's been around for a long time. Putting a computer in one is pretty interesting. I'm actually one of those few people that will beat the smartwatch drum. I'm into it. But when you have a bigger display, you start to get into this territory where you can think about UI and the relationship to the device in a very different way than you can on a smartwatch. And you saw up there this word compositions. So we call the things you put on the device compositions. We don't call them apps. And that's because they start to mix together a lot of different types of functionality. They start to mix together aesthetics with functionality in a way that hasn't really been seen before. People are wearing OSs on their body now, and we don't really think that anybody wants to wear an OS. We think that there's a much different relationship between what you show on a screen on your body and what you show on a screen on your phone.
Right.
Yeah.
So those compositions can be. I mean, so we were just looking at the product shots of the actual wearable, and it's got kind of the watch kind of bezel around it. So if I were to get one of those, does that have compositions loaded onto it, or am I actually authoring them am I personalizing it?
We are, and that's actually what we announced. It's really exciting that the tools we're offering for people to make stuff are, they start with graphics tools that anybody can use. You know, I dabble, I code a little bit, but I'm no expert, so I'll probably be using these graphics tools to compose the perfect dashboard, piece of art, whatever I want from a variety of different building blocks.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So that's for us. And then
please see one.
I'm dying.
Yeah,
I'll give you guys a couple of these.
What do these work like in real life? How would this work?
I should mention it's fully touch enabled. So this is not only a flexible display, but it's a flexible touch layer as well.
So this is the actual product.
This is the display.
This is the display.
Josh,
pull up the slide of the product again.
Yep.
See, so this is the display.
Yeah, so there's a mechanical structure that goes over. And if you guys have some footage of that, if people want to dig back into the older episode, the interaction design is essentially a lot shallower than a smartwatch. There's not a lot of hierarchy, so we're taking advantage of the display real estate by not trying to apply all the metaphors from phones to your wrist. I think that's what's happening in Android Wear and in iOS right now. So you can imagine a much less claustrophobic experience, an experience that is persistent. These displays never turn off. So if you look at the Apple Watch, most of the time it looks like your phone right now.
Yeah, it's like the watch I'm wearing, pretty much. Yeah. I mean,
and you gesture and it wakes up, and that's cool. But
it's actually kind of annoying.
Okay, yeah, it is annoying. I agree. We try not to poo-poo too much, you know. Yeah, but this is similar to a Kindle, the similar display technology to a Kindle. And when a display is on your body and it never turns off, that really changes the relationship not only that you have with the display, but other people. All of a sudden, you can start flossing and flexing a little. You can put some stuff on there that is maybe not all about functionality, and it's about expression. It's about art, and we think the sweet spot, the reason that we kind of are allowed to say these are called compositions, not apps, is because the mixture of aesthetics and functionality hasn't really been seen before. You know, getting things done in a way that is has more in common with what you see in the world of fashion and lifestyle brands. You know, I think is really cool. And you know, Apple and Google did a great job with Android Wear and iOS. They're in their infancy. I really believe they're going to get better and better and better. But they're computer OSs. You know, and I don't think people want to wear that.
And manufacturers are trying to like make these watches that are more stylish. But the fact of the matter is, I'm not going to spend $300-400 on something that's going to be, you know, it looks good on my wrist, but it's going to be outdated in 18 months.
Yeah. Or that it's not functional, even if it's outdated. I mean, like, because that's the thing is that, like, I've been wearing the G Watch, you know, for over a year now, And really, it's distilled down to I wear it when I go running. And like that's
right, because
that's
you
it.
get those little that little app functionality from it.
Right, because it's functional,
really
but everything else, the daily wearing, the functionality isn't quite there. And like the idea of being able to customize, these are the apps that I'm interested in, and these are the bits of data I want to see.
Yeah,
it's really cool. What was the deal with the devil like to make this technology? Because this is crazy.
Yeah,
this is so cool.
Well, I've got the building block right here. This is our transistors, essentially. So the Polyera fundamentally, this is what we make. We make flexible transistors, and these things can go into anything from a sensor array to logic circuitry to a display, module. And this was 10 years in the making. Yeah. So I met the founder Phil 2 years ago. When he showed me this and showed me something similar to that, it kind of blew me away.
This is the goddamn future. Like this is a moment, right? Like this is because this is the kind of thing that we were raised on, what we should see, and this is the innovation that I personally haven't seen in the space, and so this is blowing me away. This is so cool.
It's humbling and exciting to be able to work on something like this. There's a whole category of displays I think that are coming that are going to be referred to as ambient displays. I don't know if you guys are familiar with electric objects or framed. These are kind of the evolution of the digital art frame, and people are trying to build ecosystems for them. I think the next Apple TV, once iOS is on there, is going to open up a whole market for people that are making software that's for displaying in your home. And I think
not for active
use, but what do you do when we were talking about the phone's the Android, I forget the name of the feature, but kind of going to sleep.
Doze.
Your TV dozes now, but eventually it's not going to, and you're going to have software you're going to put on that is in your environment.
And we're seeing the beginnings of that. I mean, I know I talked to a startup, a few months ago now called Depict that is doing that is doing art. Utilizing your TV displays to display art. I mean, think about just Chromecast in its idle state.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's at the point now where when I come home, I turn my TV on and I'm not casting anything. I just let Chromecast go through my news feed and all that
totally.
Yeah,
I turn it on and then I forget what I was going to do, and then I end up leaving it on for an hour because that photo.
Can I see one with text?
Photo. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So one thing I should say.
It looks like you're far away from launching a product, I guess. Like, do you have a price or specs or release date or any of that stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. So the product is going to be released commercially in 2016 for everybody. In December, we're going to give a small amount of devices away to developers, artists, and designers. And this thing works now. It's not, a lot of these products have been considered vapor. You see envisionments of these types of products, and you have for many years. But we're ready to go. We're bringing up our operating system right now. It's based on Android. Probably maybe one of the reasons why we're here.
When is your Marshmallow upgrade?
Yeah.
I was going to ask about that. Like, is there any fear that you're building it on Android, but it not exactly is Android Wear? Like, is there any fear maybe people, at least Android enthusiasts, won't be as interested in it because of its sort of
I mean, you're not going to run Google Play, right? So
no, we're building our own OS and our own ecosystem, really. Is there a convergence point? It could. You're already seeing Android Wear on iOS. There's interesting stuff happening. So we're definitely going to build, for services that people love. So if Google is ever interested in that kind of thing, of course, we're and same goes for the technology. If people are interested in making flexible displays, we're open to partnership. But right now, we're very focused on our ecosystem. And I think that what gives us a license to do that is that the nature of the software is quite different than what you see on a phone or a smartwatch.
Yeah, absolutely.
The interaction doesn't really translate from Android Wear or watchOS over to what we're doing.
So the text and the stuff like that can change on the fly. It can the time will tell or whatever. But it's display only. There's no functionality. I can't tap and do anything with it.
It's fully touch enabled.
It's fully touch enabled.
Fully touch enabled. Flexible touch layer. It's
so I can do next song if I had like Spotify integration or something.
1 gigahertz A7.
A plastic touch layer?
Sorry?
A plastic touch layer?
No,
it can't be glass.
Yeah,
what's the touch layer?
Yeah. It's we're working with a really interesting, partnering with a really interesting touch provider that actually this will be one of the first products with their product commercially that is a flexible touch layer. Yeah, I believe Blade is it what does it have? Is it carbon nanotubes? It's something crazy that's over my head.
Yeah, Ron, it feels like a thick plastic, but it's definitely not just plastic. Like you can tell that it's different. You know?
Yeah, and so I should also say that the displays will not have a glossy finish. They're going to be matte, like your Kindle.
Yeah.
This is super important because
good for outdoor.
Good for outdoor. The legibility is going to be great. And the borders will be color matched much better. So these are
so it won't be all fingerprinty.
exactly.
We're getting our grinding.
I know.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just it's like literally I
We're
don't know
like half an hour and all that Android sweaty fingers.
How do
all
I
over.
plug it into my phone? That's what I'm looking at these
They don't fit. So ecosystem, obviously, you're saying is important. That requires developers to be on board. What are you doing to kind of appeal to developers and bring them into?
Yeah. So I mentioned the graphics tools for us norms, right? But you can also develop like you develop for Android. You know, if you're making Android apps, there'll be a path to make apps for us. Make compositions. Listen to me.
Could it be the kind of,
yeah.
Does it potentially sync with an Android phone so that if I have Evernote installed on my phone and Evernote has built-in functionality to Wove, simply having it installed there would allow for that, or does it not require to be tethered in any way?
Yeah, that really depends on the architecture of the service. So you know, if someone like an Evernote or like a Google, for example, has an architecture that allows us to just use the phone as a modem, essentially, we can go you know, call them whenever we want without having to deal with what's happening on Evernote locally on the phone. And that'll change partner to partner. I think that's the right path. I think any wrist device untethering from a phone is going to be a really great thing. I've got the Sony smartwatch 3, and running with that without the phone is cool. Doing that with the Apple Watch is cool. I haven't spent a lot of time with the Samsung phone that I believe is fully untethered that you can actually make calls from. But I think that's the trajectory of these devices. Is
the LG Watcher Bane, the new one announced with
an
LTE
LTE modem.
With LTE connectivity.
Yeah.
And
so ridiculous.
Well, and see, and I read that and I was like, man, is that necessary? But I can see what you're saying though. I think it depends. Does it because I've seen a couple of people in the chat room say this is more of a fashion item than a technology item. How does that comment strike you?
That is a spicy question.
Is it? Okay.
It is.
Because I mean, you have to admit there is an element of fashion to this. Maybe even
blatantly.
more so to
It's a wearable. There better be. Glass.
The best way to discuss this is to look at what Apple's doing right now. Apple is the first, really successful consumer electronics company that is making their way into luxury fashion. They're trying to reinvent themselves as a luxury brand. Right, and that's the only way for them to go up from where they are right now. Is to sell products that way. It astounds me how far ahead of the curve they are with the brand of the Apple Watch when compared to someone like LG. They've really started to capture, I think, what it takes to sell fashion items. I was lucky enough actually to be in Tokyo with Blade when the Apple Watch launched in Ginza at the Dover Street Market, which if people that are into fashion, they know Comme des Garçons, really quite a famous luxury fashion house. And I saw the Apple Watch bench or the table they have kind of shoved into the glasses room in Dover Street Market. And it was amazing to look at that and then go up through this store and see some of the most avant-garde fashion I've ever seen. And that's a very calculated decision on their part. And then you go to a conference and you see a bunch of Android Wear watches on plastic stands. Oh, this is a very different approach. So this is fashion. I mean, this is where things are headed. You'll start to see more apparel that I think has dynamic digital content on it. We saw a lot of similar stuff along those lines at Google I/O.
That's very true. Yeah. I keep forgetting about that little part of Google I/O.
Yeah.
But it's fashion and functionality and the balance between the two.
Absolutely.
This is what the problem to solve. This is what no one's figured out yet is how to marry the two, where you can have someone that's into a lifestyle brand like Supreme that grew up skateboarding and really loves that stuff and feels like they can put a piece of technology in their body without it interfering with how they want to represent themselves. And it gets into semiotics and it gets into expression and all this really hairy stuff that I don't think consumer electronics has really addressed yet.
And really like whatever smartwatch you have on or phone you have in your hand, it's like a depiction of you as a person. So naturally you'd want whatever is on you to look good.
Right.
Which is why it took me so long to even want to put smartwatch on in the
first
place.
You have to get over a hump. And then you start second guessing yourself. Why am I wearing this because I actually like the way it looks, or am I wearing it because I want to have iOS or Apple, Apple stuff on my
Yeah,
wrist.
that's definitely a question I've asked myself.
Yeah.
Cool. Before we depart on this, final question: when you take a look at the hardware, I think everyone looks at it and probably asks themselves, "Is it comfortable?" Because it's a wide metallic-looking base.
Right.
How does it feel?
Well, if you
I
look,
haven't even seen it on a wrist, like a picture. I don't like. Where does the brick go?
yeah. So the brick is on the top of your wrist like a smartwatch, and we're intentionally, not showing on the wrist right now because I think it's a very important moment. If you want to talk shop, we really want to present it in a art-directed, thoughtful way.
You're still early on.
We're still early, and the form factor, could change slightly. But if you notice the what looks like the watch links on the band, the inner side of the band, those are very flexible. Those move in a way that allows the device to conform to your wrist. Now, I'm not saying it's like jelly, but it definitely feels more comfortable than you might think when you see it.
Yep, and there's the bump there, so you can see it. Yeah.
So, are you gonna put this on a man's wrist or a woman's wrist when you're ready?
Ooh, another spicy question.
Because
we like our spicy questions.
I think this product is going to speak to a lot of people, and the people that are interested in wearing a large display on the wrist are going to be the people that are interested in wearing a large display on the wrist. And
quite diplomatic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Someone's been through media training.
Yes.
No, but that's fair because it's
If it'd be really easy to say, it's too masculine. It looks too much like a man's device. But what does that mean?
It kind of does though to me as a woman who does care about. I mean, I love fashion and I love clothing and shopping and I'm very much into it. And so that's something I ask every company I interview. Like, are you making this with women in mind? And a lot of them aren't.
Yeah, I think we're focusing on one SKU right now.
Yeah,
but
sure.
There's obviously a path to making SKUs that could cater to people with different aesthetics.
And could you then do a ladies version with a smaller screen?
Yeah.
Or is it?
Yeah. There's no limitations on making
really
it doesn't have to be that
to
form
any
factor.
size.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I was just having a conversation yesterday about about having a almost like a Pip Boy from Fallout, like like kind of arm kind of device with stuff where you can do Star Trekky and all that sort of stuff.
Great.
And it just seems like that's so cool. So it's really early on. You guys have announced and it's kind of a call for developers to start working with you guys.
You got it. Yeah.
Where people should keep an eye out on the website. Is that the best place?
That's the best place to go if you want updates. Sign up for email list, follow us on Twitter, Instagram. We're going to post some cool stuff over the next couple months, and if you're a developer and you're into HTML5, CSS3, and JS, we're also going to provide tools to build that way. Again, if you're into Android, there's a path for you, and the graphics tools will also be available.
And that's all at wove.com.
All at wove.com.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be watching it closely because this honestly is some of the coolest stuff I've seen in a while.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's very cool. Well, thanks for joining.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Justin Baum.
A little glimpse of the future with Justin Baum of Wove.
I know. Now I really want to. I want to see the full thing.
I know. I want this technology now. Like
the tease. It's the look at this awesome thing.
Cool.
Like I don't want to wear this watch anymore.
How about this? When you guys launch, when you're coming out with a product or you have something official to show off, get in touch with us. Let us know. Or if we catch it and we see you haven't, we will reach out to you.
And
we'll get you in here. And
I was going to say, we can nominate a female model to show it on
Deal. Happy to come back. We'll be back soon with that for sure.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you, Justin. Really appreciate it. Awesome stuff. All right, cool. So I think you're probably going to split. And that's okay because we have to take a break right now anyway. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to take a quick moment to thank Gazelle.
Yeah, I want to thank Gazelle, in fact, because listen, we've been talking about nothing but new smartphones. So that might leave the question, what do I do with my old smartphone? That's why Gazelle is here. Gazelle is giving new life to used smartphones every day. You can fund your new smartphone upgrade by getting cash for your old one and sell the smart way at Gazelle.com. You can lock in your price today and you'll have up to 30 days to send it in, giving you plenty of time to get a new one. There are tons of benefits to using Gazelle. All their online offers are free, so simply find your gadget, answer a few easy questions, and get your instant price quote. Gazelle even pays cash for broken phones. Once you accept your online offer, Gazelle will honor it for 30 days. Shipping is free, and for most items, Gazelle will even provide the box. And all your personal information from the device is removed. Gazelle is totally trustworthy, and they're smart. They don't want to compromise any of your personal data. They will remove it all, wipe the device before it gets moved on to to its next stage in life. Gazelle pays fast. You get a check in the mail or an Amazon gift card direct in your inbox, or you can do direct deposit to your PayPal account. Gazelle has paid out over 200 million to over 1 million customers. A lot of people are using Gazelle, and a lot of people are making money by selling their old devices. So go to Gazelle.com today, trade in your used phone and electronics for cash, and you can visit Gazelle.com today, and we thank them for their support of All About Android.
All right, thank you, Gazelle. Man, this is like prime Gazelle time right now. Get rid of your old tech and get some new stuff, like maybe some of the stuff we're about to talk about in this next segment, hardware.
I gotta say, after seeing that, it's really hard to talk about the $50 Kindle Fire.
From
this clunky tablet.
Cutting-edge wearable technology to the Amazon Fire $50 tablet. Hey, you got to fit it in
It's
somewhere.
affordable.
Yep.
Okay, so check it out. Here at Twit, if you watched Before You Buy, I think it was last Friday, you saw Father Robert Ballester pretty much had everybody that worked at Twit all gathered around a table because everybody kind of pitched in on six-packs. It's really weird to refer to tablets in the terms that in the same terms that you would as far as like going and getting beer. Or sodas or whatever. But this is one of the Amazon Fire tablets from a six-pack. I got mine today. This is how I saw it, minus the fact that it was torn here. I did that because I was warned that I had to update. But this is pretty much the product that you get when you get a six-pack.
Well,
what does a
you're glossing over my favorite part of the product, which is the box. The Kindle Fire, a most sensible tablet.
Oh, I hadn't even seen that.
Wait, what? It says that on there?
It says a most sensible
A
tablet.
most sensible
So
tablet.
I feel like Amazon's really stepping it up with the marketing materials.
That's very cute.
Yeah.
This looks like something you would pick up at a...
Like on a rack, you know?
This is something you would get like in line, the Impulse.
At Staples.
Impulse.
At
Well, and
Staples,
it's priced for
Yes.
Impulse.
Oh, no, at Target.
So what does a six-pack look like? Does it come in like the little plastic rings?
That's a really
soda
And did you
cans?
cut them before you
question,
threw
'cause
them
I
away
didn't
because of the
see.
fish?
I didn't see
Poor
the
little
six-pack,
fish.
okay? Don't place this on me. I was handed just the single tablet, so the one that I have right here. It wasn't powered on. I guess
I love packaging.
just woke up.
My new thing is industrial packaging.
Smell it. I love the smell of brand new gadgets. Straight from the
Oh,
factory.
really?
I thought I was the only one.
No, it's
No, Josh,
like
no, I'm with
just
you.
very
I'm with
nostalgic
you there,
for me.
too.
I
I mean,
love
it's the
it.
same thing with books. I smell
No, I
books.
smell
Yeah.
books too. Yeah.
Does that tablet smell good? I can't tell.
Oh yeah,
yeah?
Shenzhen right there.
Can we talk about the cable? Can we talk about all about cables?
Go ahead and
comes
show
with-
it off while
Comes
I
with a standard USB to mini USB cable. Not impressed. I guess I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
You can
expect
reuse the twist tie, however, for your chips.
$50.
Yep, it's $50. Although you get a nice slim line brick, you get a nice little power brick, so it works nicely there. So there it is.
That's every complaint you have should end with, but it's $50.
Ron makes a very good point.
All right,
Very good
so
point.
first and foremost, take a look. It is ad supported. You're
It
not.
works. Wait. It turned on and functioned, and there's a screen that works. Like, you need to lower your expectations here. It's $50.
Wait,
No,
Ron,
absolutely.
wait, why do we need to lower expectations?
Because it's $50.
Right.
We might have a title.
I was just gonna say.
All right, so every time you power on the screen, you are going to see an ad. This is just how it works with the
That's
Amazon
fine.
Ad
Kindle.
roulette. Let's do it.
I'm
Best,
okay with
best
that.
fiends.
Best
Yeah.
Fiends.
Kindles work the same way.
Yeah, Fire HD. It looks like we're cycling through 3 of the same
I like the idea of
ads.
advertising a Fire HD on the $50 tablet.
I can't wait till you get to the grocery store novel ads that you get after some time, and it's just like this beautiful man, this beautiful woman, like just embracing each other in color.
So you've got, I will say that Amazon's kind of Fire OS of ages past made me want to throw up, basically. This one, I don't feel like throwing up necessarily. It's
Because
better.
it still kind of gives me the heebie-jeebies.
It's very different. It's not vanilla by any means, but it's at least, I don't know, there's something a little bit better.
It works.
You remember the first ones? It was just like a carousel.
Yeah, it
large
was really
carousel
frustrating to
of
use.
overly sized, low pixel
like 5
density
books I didn't really want to
icons.
read that I was done reading.
It wasn't a
you know.
carousel in the good Don Draper kind of way. It was just a regular old carousel.
It was
It's a dated reference.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what season you're referring to.
Season 1?
Oh yeah, that's so
Carousel.
Oh, wow. That
Yeah,
was so
the
long
carousel.
ago.
Yeah.
So Fire OS 5, so it's Android 5.1 based?
Oh, that's a good question. It's definitely, I mean, you've definitely got, Lollipop, you've got the kind of the navigation. area. Let's see here.
Yeah.
I literally got this like a couple of hours before the show.
Yeah, did they say that? How shady is Amazon about what version of the software they're running? Okay, yeah, it's 5.1. All right. So yeah, I mean that's pretty good. I'm surprised. Usually they're super far behind whatever Google's doing.
I'm trying to find the about, but I'm not really finding
device options.
Device.
Forks.
There it is. Device options.
Device options. Is this going to give me a?
There it is. Device model.
No.
System updates.
No, that's going to be the.
Does it have Marshmallow? No.
Blank.
Does it come with Marshmallow?
Yeah, so it's not going to tell you which version of actual Android it's running on. Apparently.
Yeah, it should be 5.1. So you're going to work with you're going to work with all the apps provided they don't use Google Play services, which is a big problem.
Well,
I'd imagine.
Yeah, I mean,
what does the App Store look like?
You're going to get your apps through the Amazon App Store, and those are going to work in whatever way Amazon has dictated that to developers that are submitting.
So, is there a top free section? Give me like a top list.
So this is Underground. So Underground, which they announced not too long ago, totally free apps, even apps that normally have in-app purchases. All that stuff is free, so you've got access through here. Your bestsellers, Monument Valley. Minecraft, Game of War,
Candy Crush Saga.
Candy Crush, of course. Top free, top paid, top grossing.
Okay, Netflix, that's good. Facebook, I saw Facebook Messenger.
Amazon's app store offerings, I don't think are necessarily bad. I think what it is, at least for me anyways, is I'm so used to getting my stuff through the Play Store that to then have another app store on my device, like I would so much rather get it through the place that I always get it.
I have a Samsung phone. I have an Amazon App Store, a Samsung App Store,
and a Google Play Store.
Collecting app stores.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to catch them all.
Yeah.
So you can get most of the stuff that you want to get through here,
except Google Apps.
Well, yeah, that is a big asterisk.
That is true.
$50. It's $50.
It's $50.
It's $50.
You know what else you could get for $50 though?
What?
A really nice pair of boots.
Oh my.
Okay, you can get one and 2/3 Chromecasts.
Yes.
That's true.
I like how you're
one
thinking.
And a third Chromecast.
You could buy yourself Google Play credit.
That's true.
And get apps from the Play
So
Store.
does it strike you as a $50 device holding it?
I gotta say, build quality. If I was to pay $200 for this, well, all I'm doing is bending it, by the way, and it's doing.
Oh my god!
What?
Wow. As you're about to say nice things about it.
I was about to give it a compliment on how it feels versus $50, but just bending it, I'm getting it to do that. So yeah, maybe not so much. But again, it's $50.
Is the screen good or bad, or it can't be good?
It's lower res. It's fine.
You could cuddle with someone to watch a movie. I think cuddling should be encouraged anyway.
I'll tell you what, it feels like $50.
Yeah.
Okay, 7-inch 1024 by 600 display. 171 PPI. Okay.
That's why it's all grayed out. Yeah. Because I haven't downloaded anything. I literally just installed it. Washington Post free for, I think, 6 months or something like that.
Exercise in a pill? What is the Washington Post talking about?
So, Ron, you said that it felt like $50 to you. Does the Chromecast feel like $35 to you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mean from
I was curious.
From a build standpoint. It feels plasticky.
Okay, but feature-wise?
Feature-wise, no, way more than $35.
Okay.
Yeah,
this feels
more than $50.
This is true. Yeah, that's a family tablet right there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I could very easily see getting this for $50 for one of my kids if they were older. I'm not going to buy them a tablet at this age.
This is a little tiring to do.
What?
It's a little dense.
How often are you holding your tablet out like that?
Cuddling in bed. I don't know. I actually can't do that anyway because my back hurts.
Do you lay in bed and read like that? I mean, normally
I wish I could.
I mean, I don't know. Obviously, it has shortcomings. But like you say, it's $50. It ties in very closely to the Amazon ecosystem, which you
probably already have a ton of money invested in.
People.
Yeah,
exactly. Like if you have a Prime membership, you can get your instant videos on here. You can load them.
All the new shows.
By the way, okay, so I was away, right? I was away for PTO.
Yes.
And I remembered I'm going to use my Prime membership to load a bunch of videos offline for the plane ride. And so I did. It was the greatest thing in the world. And when you actually play it, you end up getting access to that offline version of it for like 72 days or something like that.
Oh, cool.
So it was like, do you want to start your 72 days
awesome.
now? And I'm like, yes.
It's way better than 48 hours.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it was very cool. So from a media consumption and just kind of like entertainment device perspective,
it's worth the $50.
$50.
This could be your bathroom tablet. Like, if not,
you're not the first person I've heard say that, and it's still.
I just realized that I need to follow that with context.
There we go.
I
understand what you're
use
saying.
when I'm blow drying my hair. Okay, I like to watch Housewives with captioning on, and I use a tablet to do that. So you could use that to watch TV while you're showering or something. I don't know.
It's okay, Flo.
Some people read the newspaper when they're on the
Look,
cam.
getting ready in the morning is very boring, okay?
That Instagram feed gets long. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, it's $50, but there's definite value there.
Look, if you can't get anything for your mom, just get her for Christmas. Just buy her a little tablet, and she'll be like, oh my God, you love me.
I'm telling you, if you have a large family and you are the tech person of that family, you can buy a 6-pack. Everybody gets a kid. It's Oprah.
Don't ever call me again. Don't call me for tech support.
Call the Amazon. Does Amazon still have the creepy tech support person? The video
Mayday or something?
Yeah, Mayday. Yeah.
Mayday?
That's a good question.
When you're lonely,
Have a
Mayday.
live on our.
I like that you installed Goat Simulator, by the way. Like he's like, oh, I've only had it for 2 hours, but it's all right. I installed Goat Simulator.
I installed Goat Simulator because I thought if there was a game that might kind of show the hardware a little bit,
Goat Simulator.
maybe that would be it. But
Now wait a minute. Was Hearthstone in the App Store? I
yes,
think
it was. It was wrong.
Hearthstone barely runs on like the most insane tablet, phone, whatever.
Oh, we're gonna get to that later on.
I already hit home. I'm waiting. I think it was because it was loading,
and
it
crashed.
No. I went home. It just took like 8 seconds to get home because it was loading Goat Simulator.
Oh, jeez. I'm just feeling every dollar of those $50 right now.
I know.
So if you want specs, it's a 1.3 gigahertz quad-core processor. I'm guessing that's not a Snapdragon. It's probably MediaTek.
I think
it's a regular Dragon.
8 gigs of storage. There's no RAM listed, probably because there isn't any. Wi-Fi N.
Hearthstone free. There we go.
That is not going to work. You'd fill it.
It's going to take an hour to download.
Yeah.
Download speed is not affected. It still connects to the same Wi-Fi connection. It's running it that's going to be a problem.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe. Hey, Ron, Amadio, maybe we'll do your review.
You're going to sabotage my
I know what to get Ron for Christmas.
Here's a little preview.
All right. No. So that's the Amazon Fire.
We'll let that
$50 tablet.
Yeah, we'll set this aside and download. We'll
a
revisit
box of
that.
tablets.
Box of tablets.
You can get 6 of them and like raid them together, or like build a giant wall of screens or something. Yeah.
Possibly.
To make one like amazingly powerful tablet.
That is this thick. Like, this is my tablet.
Take it with you on the plane in a briefcase.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
At that price, you could afford to just give them to other people on the plane.
Yeah.
No big deal. Okay, we'll check back on that.
Cool.
Ron, you had an interesting field trip.
Real quickly, I had a fun little field trip in San Francisco. I visited the office of NextBit, which are the folks behind the Robin phone, which we talked about when the Kickstarter launched. And and that actually came from after the Nexus announcements. And folks on Twitter were asking if I was going to get the Nexus 5X. I'm still undecided. And Eric Lynn from NextBit jumped on Twitter and was like, hey, what about Robin? I was like, I'd love it, but I've never seen it. So they said, why don't you come down and check it out? So I went yesterday to take a look at it, and seeing is believing. I held it in my hand. I played with it. I used it. It exists. It looks like no other phone that's out there. It's really cool. I'm a big fan of the industrial design. Both colors look really nice. They walked me through the OS. They have done a great job of giving it its own identity while keeping it really close to stock. So it definitely it doesn't feel like a departure from Android, and that's the big thing for me. We had a great conversation about reasons why I never went HTC or Samsung or that, because I just want, like, that's why I've been an Nexus guys. I want that stock experience, and it feels that way. They showed me the archive to the cloud and restore process, and it's really neat. I don't want to steal their thunder, but it works, and it's super cool. And what I didn't realize from the Kickstarter or from their website is that it's going to function with any launcher. So even if for some reason you don't want the NextBit launcher that has got some cool bells and whistles, but let's say you really love Google Now and you really love the Google launcher, you can still use it and still use the archive to the cloud function. It still works. It's not the archiving the apps function is not dependent on the launcher, which I thought was cool.
So what about the phone itself? What did you think? Did you try putting it in your
I did the whole. It's a little bigger than I'm used to because I'm a Nexus 5 guy, so it's a little longer, but it wasn't too long. It definitely didn't feel like the drive-in movie of the Nexus 6,
right?
Which is cool. It felt long and slender, felt long and slim, and I think I could use.
Did you like
phone.
the colorful one?
I did like the colorful one. I remember when
I could see you sporting that.
When the Kickstarter was announced, I was like, midnight. That's my color. I'm not going the mint. But after seeing the mint, I was like, I kind of like it doesn't look like anything else. I kind of like that aspect of it. Yeah.
That's why I like it too.
Yeah.
It's nice and different.
So super, super cool. Unfortunately, I'm a moron. I didn't take any pictures because it was the end of the day and we're all tired. But we had such a great time that, in fact, they're going to come on the show next week.
Yes, that is true.
So super excited. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be here because I've got a work conflict.
You already saw it in person.
But I already saw it in person. Yeah. So it's your
turn.
guys' turn. I'll back away. I'll let you guys do. But so if you want to hear more about the NextBit, tune in next week, and I'm sure they're going to have a lot more to say about the way the thing works and all stuff. But it exists. It's real. If you ponied up for the Kickstarter, it is coming. Like it is like the office was buzzing. It was full of people, and it's like this. I like this company. I hope they're around for a long time.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I definitely like innovation on the side.
Much like this week's episode, next week's episode is going to be jam-packed.
Right, yeah, no, this is...
You're going to be out.
Yeah, I'll be out.
Flo and I don't know if you'll be here or remote.
I will be here, and I will not hurt myself again, hopefully.
All right.
Hopefully you're
Or
repaired
maybe
by now.
I'll do something this weekend and, like, break something. I don't know, whatever.
We're going to have, obviously, NextBit on. We also have Gina Trapani and Stephen Hall, first time on the show of 9 to 5 Google. So
that's
going to be a jam-packed cast.
I'm going to try and not squeal over Gina. But.
Well, I'm actually in New York next week, so I might have to give Gina a call and see if she wants to get together in person.
You should.
Yeah, to make up for missing the show.
Yeah.
So.
I have breaking news. My auto backup has worked.
What?
Breaking news.
That deserves a breaking news roll.
I think we have to do it. We have to do it. Josh has been put through the ringer already. We must go the next step.
Josh is there sweating buckets. He's just,
He's like, oh, you had to throw this on me. That works.
All right, fair enough. We'll accept breaking news. Okay. Good job, Josh. Oh,
wait.
Huh?
Wait.
So auto backup has worked. I've learned about this over Instant Messenger, believe it or not.
Oh, wait, hold on. We've got something from Josh coming.
Huh? Oh, I thought we were.
There we go. Okay, that's much better. Okay, so Ron, you heard from Instant Messenger. What's the update?
That backup has actually worked, and my phone, which is in the kitchen, has actually auto backed up. But I'll have to go look at it after the show, and I don't know.
So here's the question: does auto backup need to have the device in the kitchen for it to work?
No, I disconnected my Android Wear Watch. Maybe that stopped it. I don't know because
it's like getting a snack.
It's getting a marshmallow.
The thing is, how would doze mode work with that? Because like if your phone goes to sleep, doesn't your watch stop working? So I don't know. I guess I did something that made it work. So it does function, and I'm gonna have to dive in and write a million more words about it.
I feel like you're unraveling the onion as we talk about this.
You're
right?
unwrapping
you're like,
the bag of marshmallows.
Listen, we're through the looking glass here, people. All right.
This is the process when no, for real. When you get stuff early and it's like, hey, I have this problem, and you can't Google for it because no one else has the stuff, so you just kind of try to figure it out and and hope it works.
It hasn't hit Stack Overflow yet, so
yeah.
Cool.
Excellent. We got our breaking news in there. That's fantastic. Yep. Flo, you had a hands-on with an LG device.
I did. I went to New York last week.
How was it?
Well, it was cold and rainy, actually. I was not enjoying that.
Fall in New York.
Yeah, was not prepared for that. My socks were wet most of the time. But you guys want to hear about the phone, the V10, not how cold my feet were. Or
I want to hear about the selfies on the V10 is what I want to hear about.
The selfies, they
2 cameras. Yeah.
I did take a lot of selfies with my videographer, and I'm sure he appreciated that. Actually, so I just want to say, so first of all, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is like behind this phone because he was like part of the presentation in video form, unfortunately not in real life, which I was upset about. But that's okay, LG, next time. And the V10 actually has full like manual video camera controls, which is quite amazing, and they work like in the middle of while you're recording something. So you can like adjust exposure and I'm trying to think of all my camera buzzwords.
Like zoom. Well, which you can kind of do that anyways by pinching.
Frame rate. I don't think you can do frame rate while you're recording,
that
would
be really weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but you can do it beforehand. But you can do
focus. That's nice.
Focus.
So you can do manual focus
ISO,
while you're recording. That's
like all of that, manually. And it's really fluid. Like if you use the UI on the G4, like it totally makes sense. It's awesome. You can also excuse me, I inhaled too quickly. You can also, as you see, like you can adjust the sound so that if your subject, you're like in a really noisy area, you can have it so that it picks up with the microphone that's in the front to get the subject that you have instead of like all the commotion that's going on behind you. You definitely, if you plan on using any of that stuff though, you're going to want to like get one of those little tripods that you could shove your phone into. I really liked this phone, actually. I wasn't like super over the moon about the G4. So, I mean, I liked it as a flagship for LG, but not for me personally. This is a phone I actually think I would want to use. It's just a little second screen thing is a little gimmicky.
I was totally underground when this came out. So why does it have 2 selfie cameras?
Oh,
is it 3D
because
why
no,
not?
It does 80 degrees and 120 degree. So it does wide angle and regular angle. So if you want to fit in more friends, you can just switch the dual camera mode and it fits all of you in. And if it's just you taking a selfie in the bathroom, you also have an option for that.
Can you take a picture
so it
using
takes
both cameras
2
at the
pictures?
same time?
Yes, and that's what actually that little
that's what that
screenshot
is.
there is.
Oh, okay.
If only those
So
girls.
it takes 2 pictures and stitches them together instead of just doing the usual phone rotate thing?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But it works really dang well. And I'm speaking about this as like a narcissist who takes selfies. All right. This is really important. Because the problem with the selfie panorama is that you have to stand really still, which is annoying. And so then if you like accidentally move or something or whatever, or something moves behind you, then it comes out weird. But when you have both the lenses, they're working at the same time and, you know.
I believe Huawei called that feature the Groofy.
The Groofy, yes. Yeah.
Oh, yes, the Groofy.
Oh, but this strikes me as like with the HTC M8 or whatever, where they added a second camera on the back.
It's
for
nothing
3D
like that.
pictures.
Yeah.
But like a week later, everybody did the same thing in software because you can just move the phone. And it's like, I think when you can do good enough in software, you don't need to add a whole extra hardware element just to do this one like niche thing that some people won't even do.
No, I think a lot of people will do this. I think the wide angle thing is pretty.
Listen, I'll tell you what. If
and it's front facing, so it's not like it's not getting in the way of the 16 megapixel sensor on the back
of the
that
real
you're,
camera,
supposedly using to film videos for Joseph Gordon-Levitt's YouTube page.
We all do it.
I'll tell you, if LG marketing is smart, they get this phone in the hands of those girls at that baseball game.
Yes. That is
you want
very
to
true.
get that selfie crowd. They are the face of the selfies.
That is very. I have a
yeah.
lot of baseball selfies in my Giants gear.
Yep.
So I'm one of
So
those
did you
people.
like the extra screen? Does it do anything?
The extra screen, I think, is an absolute gimmick. I don't not understand, and I think it's just a total play at Samsung. I'm sorry, I said that. LG.
Is it an
that's how I
extra
feel.
screen or just like a weirdly shaped screen with a little corner cut out of it?
No, it's just like a little screen. It's just that's it.
I mean, is it continuous or is there a border between it and the main screen?
Yeah, so it stops at like where the camera lenses are, but you can scroll through it like, you know, one of those scrollers at the DMV that tells you what number you are. Like it's one of those things.
I don't
But-
know
That's what I want my phone to
Wait,
emulate,
is there
the
2
DMV.
screens in that?
Yeah.
Yes, so they're 2 separate screens, which
Where?
yeah,
So
you
picture a
can't tell.
rectangle. Picture a rectangle that starts below the double camera.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's a tiny, thin ticker screen to the right of the cameras.
Yeah.
Where the status bar
Yeah,
is.
and that turns into a menu screen when
Oh, on
you're
the
like
side
in
of the phone. You're talking about this.
No, that's it. That you're looking at it.
So it's above the
That's
main
what
screen.
it looks like when the screen's
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
So it's above the main screen.
Yes. And
Got
it turns
okay.
into a little like mini
Oh,
launcher in certain
okay.
apps.
I see. I was seeing the little camera icons or the cameras as icons.
Oh, yeah, no, those
So
were
when I
the
was looking
lenses.
at it, I was like, oh, that's just the status bar.
Yeah, that's
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, that's why I asked. Like,
Necessary?
if you just make a non-square screen and just kind of cut the corner off, you don't have to add a whole extra second screen. How much is this?
Oh gosh, you think I would know that off the top of my head?
Well, you went all the way to New York.
I know. Well, actually, they didn't announce pricing. They just said that it's coming to Verizon, T-Mo, and AT&T later this month.
T-Mo.
I like to call it T-Mo because it's street cred right there.
Is it like a Snapdragon? Is it like a Snapdragon 8, whatever?
Yeah, it's the same, pretty much the same internals as the G4.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
So
but in a slightly bigger, more dense package. It's a really heavy phone, by the way. My arm got really tired holding it.
Well, because you're probably holding it out like that.
Yeah, that's why I made the comment about the Kindle, because I remember holding this like for my videographer last week, and I'm like, dude, I need to take a break.
I will say that when I'm shopping for a phone, dense is not on the top of my list.
It was heavy.
Yeah.
It was heavy.
This is gonna be like those weird gimmick phones, like the bent Samsung and LG phone. You know, the. But
I'm super bummed because I really like the rear and my back. I like the rear and front facing cameras. Well, I like the idea of like being able to choose between wide angle or regular angle, because that's an issue I have with the GS6 is I'm stuck in 120 all the time. So when I take a picture just by myself, my face is like boop right here, and it's just not very flattering, which was why I stopped taking selfies.
They're going to take like a high-end $700 phone and then add all these extra gimmicks to it. 2 screens, 2 cameras, and you're going to be $800-900 for this, I guess?
Possibly.
Yeah,
possibly.
It's scary.
We'll see. But, you know.
And no updates.
Oof. That's a sore spot. That's a sore spot.
Oh, well. So cool. Well, that's interesting.
All right, LG.
Now I can say I've seen it all. It just took 5 years.
Yeah, and the worst other run is that you have to develop for that little second screen above. If you're an app developer.
Please tell me it's Tizen. Tell me it's running Tizen. That would be great if it was running Tizen.
It has a second processor and memory and no.
All right, cool.
All right,
let's thank a sponsor.
Let's do that. Let's thank our second sponsor of today's episode. That is Braintree. For all of you developers out there who are looking to kind of integrate payments into your apps, this is what it's all about. Developers around the world are embracing the Braintree V10 SDK, and that's because it's super easy to use. It's the easiest way to add secure mobile payments to apps and websites, no matter what payment type. Braintree accepts it. That's Apple Pay, Android Pay, PayPal, Venmo, cards, credit cards, even Bitcoin. If you have something new that happens to pop up somewhere along the line, Braintree will support that too. It's the same payment solution that's used by Uber, Airbnb, and GitHub. So you know that it's the right one to use and that it scales, most importantly. Simple, secure payments. It's code you can integrate in minutes. And developers, you're covered here. You don't have to worry about taking days to integrate your payments. With Braintree, it's done in minutes. And if you don't have time, if you don't have minutes, give them a call. They'll handle the integration for you and walk you through it. Braintree Code supports Android, iOS, and JavaScript clients with SDKs in 7 languages: .NET, Node.js, Java, Perl, PHP, Python, Ruby, and it's all elegant code, clearly documented, so you know exactly what's what. It's 10 lines of in-app code. Braintree offers you an easy way to accept multiple payment types, and many of them, with one integration. Integrating it into your app is as easy as inserting a few lines of code. You can check it out for yourself. You can try the sandbox that they have on the site and kind of play around with the code there and see how it works and how you can do it for yourself. Check out braintreepayments.com/Android to find out more, and yeah, check it out in the sandbox. See what Braintree can do for you and the app that you're developing. And we thank Braintree for their support of All About Android. All right, we're not going to do a bumper because we only really have a couple of more things to talk about. This one,
let's keep rolling.
Yeah, I thought this was kind of interesting. More hardware. Nexus AMA.
Yeah,
you know what I'm doing?
This whole show.
I'm doing it the entire time. No one knows, but behind the scenes, I'm stealing Ron's stories every single time. I apologize.
I think it's an underlying, it's an antitrust. Anyway, so yeah, one of the biggest questions I'm getting from folks is, am I going to get the Nexus 5X as my next phone? And I haven't decided yet, partially because there's so many open-ended questions. I'm waiting for people like Flo to actually get their hands on it and use it and write reviews. But in the meantime, Nexus did a Reddit AMA, the Google Nexus team, to shed some light on a few things regarding the new Nexuses. So first off, the one question that I think we were all asking on the launch day today is, what does 5X and 6P actually mean? 5X means, quote unquote, the core of the Nexus brand, although I don't understand how that translates to X.
Yeah, okay.
And the 6P, the P stands for premium. So I guess that explains
Which it is.
Yeah, it's premium, but FYX, just because it's cool. I don't know why.
Professor X. Why is he
Well,
Professor X?
There it is. So in explaining the camera bump, also known as the visor on the 6P, design driven by engineering hurdles like the camera's big sensor for low light, laser autofocus and flash, also antennas and NFC coils. They are talking about whether or not it has NFC or not. Essentially, that's the window for wireless things to work through in a phone that's nearly all metal. So that explains a little bit of the bump. As far as fingerprint security goes, people are concerned about their fingerprints being scanned and stored up in Google's mother brain. Fingerprint features aren't shared with Google. In fact, they never leave the device. They're encrypted and processed in a protected area of memory called the trust zone.
The trust zone.
It's right next to the friend zone.
And the danger zone?
And across the street from the taco zone.
Oh.
The danger zone's up.
Come on.
The danger zone is over there.
Highway to the danger zone.
It's in the zone district. But the good news is that no API access is granted to the fingerprints. It's all very secure and locked down. A lot of people want to know about the lack of the is it key or Q?
I think it's Qi.
Qi charging.
Yeah.
The lack of Qi charging. I know Miriam was very concerned about that. Google opted for USB-C for its reversible connector and fast charging, and no wireless meant optimizing for extra thinness, the anti-dense of the LG phone.
Thinness is dumb.
Yeah, you're really against the decision.
Thinness is dumb. I want more battery. I don't care about.
Well, would you rather have is it more battery or the extra electronics to support wireless charging? Like, does wireless charging that? I mean, it's cool, but
it is cool.
But is it that, like, once you go there, you can't go back? Like, is it that much of a game changer?
I think the fast charging is the most,
I think
one of the most important parts.
With that.
But
I would agree also with what Ron Amadio is saying, that, like, I don't mind having a thicker phone if it means more battery. Like, more battery.
Yeah, absolutely.
More battery, mo better.
But I think it's more price than anything. They use thinness as an excuse, but I think it comes down to bill of materials more than anything. And they go, oh, thinness, we want to make it nice, but no. They're just cheap, which is fine. It's like $377.
Yeah, it's the Nexus.
Quite possibly.
Brand, so.
There's a couple of sad trombones in here. Going back to USB-C. The Nexus 5 won't be shipping with a USB-C. There it is. Normally wait till I say it. It won't be shipping with a USB-C cable that plugs into older USB ports. So if you're looking for a USB-C to USB-A cable, you're going to have to order that yourself for about $13, which...
what does this world come to?
Thank you, Jack. Well, it was very similar to when I got my Chromecast audio, and I was all excited to plug it into my stereo, and it only comes with the phono jack. I had to special order a phono to digital optical connector. That was
what is this? What is wrong with this world?
We gotta swap sometime, though. I mean, so you won't be able to plug it into a computer or existing chargers, but it comes with a USB Type-C charger.
Right.
So
the days of not carrying your brick and plug it into the USB port of your laptop are over.
I actually think that's a super bummer because that's how I travel when I go on trips.
Well, so now you need to upgrade either to the MacBook or to the Pixel, which has the USB-C, and then so
all
this
the money.
is all part of moving forward. Speaking of USB, USB 3.1 support in either Nexus 5X or 6P. Nope, it's USB 2.0, and we talked about that similarly with the OnePlus 2, which is which we get. HDMI out looks like casting is now is pretty much the choice of display.
And has been.
And it works.
It works, but from a personal kind of perspective, for the shows that we do here, it's really the only reason that I'm upset about it. Nexus 5 is still the device that I use to show off demos because I can do the direct out. Cast is nice, but it's not perfect. You know what I mean? For this. So. I realize that's an isolated case, but I'm a little bummed. I want HDMI out.
You're an edge case.
Yeah.
And finally, the 6P display is a latest generation Samsung WQHD AMOLED panel, possibly the same as the latest as the Galaxy S6 series. So there's every question you had about the Nexus 5X and 6P answered.
More or less.
More or less. So
that's all right. So it sounds like 5X is the direction you're going.
5X is in the running. I mean,
possibly NextBit.
I like the
Possibly
Robin,
both.
although I didn't pony up in the Kickstarter. So unless I can grease a couple of palms, I'm gonna have to wait for their pre-order.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But I want to see what the Nexus 5X is like in the hands of like somebody like Flo or Ron or Miriam.
We'll get one in a couple of weeks. So
yeah,
you'll see it in a few
I would
weeks.
love to. I just want to see, because really, I mean, it's at the point now where my two biggest complaints about phones are everybody's complaints: battery and camera. And I want the longest lasting battery and the best possible camera. So
yeah,
because everything else now works. I'm happy with everything else in the world. So
yeah, same here. I think my choice between the Nexus 6P and 5X will be which one has a longer battery life. I think that's gonna pretty much be the tiebreaker. Because I'll gladly pay more and have a bigger device and whatever if it just lasts me longer and gets me through the day and all that.
Yeah. And I'm ready for USB-C. I'm ready to convert my entire household to USB-C. I want to be on the cutting edge of the USB-C revolution.
I'm gonna have to convert all the outlets in my house.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm really
Do you
excited.
know how much those cost?
I love how free and generous they are with the term universal. It's universal until something better comes along. Right. So, but speaking of universal, this next story is something I've been anxiously awaiting.
I was actually just gonna say well, Ron, transition. This sounds like something you'd be really excited about.
And you were right.
And I was thinking right. Yes. Anyway.
I know what my nieces are getting for Christmas.
Not a Kindle tablet.
Yeah, not a Kindle.
Mattel and Google have made their virtual reality ViewMaster a actual reality, IRL, in real life. It will cost $30 and it will fit into Google's virtual reality standard. But right now, I guess only Walmart hasn't announced, it sounds like.
Has it for sale. You can
has
buy
it for sale.
right
That's
now.
right. That's right. Content packs will include things from NASA and National Geographic. So not only will it be fun to wield, but it'll also be somewhat educational.
And currently it has one review at Walmart.
Yep.
And it's 1 star out of 5. And Chet writes in, and the subject is horrible nausea, do not buy. And Chet says, I bought this for my kids and they won't use it. My 9-year-old complained about it making her feel sick, and my 11-year-old says it gives her headaches. I tried it before returning it for a refund. It made me queasy after using it, probably because the lenses are not adjustable. Still looking for a good one of these on the market.
You know what? I have something to tell him.
Chet?
Okay, Shadows of the Empire made me barf real bad on the N64.
You still finished it, right?
And I still finished that damn game in every single experience level.
So
and I would like to note that
I may have cheated in the last couple of parts, but that's not important. That was years ago.
On Chet's review, 9 people found the review helpful and 53 did not find it helpful.
Oh, that's good.
So.
Although to be fair, cardboard has made me wheezy.
I think it's cardboard more
not
than
wheezy,
ViewMaster.
queasy.
I think you just got.
This is basically a plastic version of cardboard, and they don't charge you any money really for cardboard. It's like $5 or something.
It's 20.
And when you 20, really? Oh,
yes,
and this
it's
is
20.
This is 30, Ron. This is 30.
Oh, really?
This is 30 and it's adorable.
And it's the it looks like the ViewMaster I used in 1981.
Yeah.
And
cool.
my niece already has a Moto X.
Yeah.
And it just
it's perfect. She could watch all those cute little videos that Moto,
exactly.
if Moto keeps doing them.
I love
hope
it.
they do.
I love it. So I'm seriously giving everyone this for Christmas. Everyone's getting it. You get a ViewMaster. You get a ViewMaster.
What you need to do is give everyone a ViewMaster and then also a Fire.
Yeah, there you go.
Fire
Yep.
And this $80 all in for everyone. That's not bad.
Yeah. I'm really glad she doesn't watch the show.
Yeah, no kidding.
Christmas.
Before we get to the apps part of this show, wow, we have a lot to get to. Let's thank the final sponsor of today's episode, and that is lynda.com. Lynda's all about making you smarter. You're not smart enough. You need to be smarter, and I'm going to tell you how to get smarter. That's watching Lynda's content at lynda.com. Problem solvers, people who are curious, people who want to make things happen, want to learn a new skill, you want to take better photos, boost your productivity, master Photoshop, sharpen HTML skills, whatever it happens to be. Lynda.com has everything you need to feed your curious mind. If you're interested in web design, web development, you're going to want to check out lynda.com's latest courses, including analyzing your website to improve SEO. There's problem solving for web professionals, WordPress essential training, up and running with Python and Django, and intermediate techniques for Squarespace 7. I've talked at length about the awesome videos that I've watched to help me be a better musician, be a better, audio production enthusiast, and set up my studio space at home, work, in Adobe Premiere and a transition from Final Cut 7 here at Twit. They have videos that cover it all. It makes you smarter, and it's something that you can kind of turn to when you have a specific question, or you can kind of watch start to finish. Lynda.com makes it easy to do that. You're learning from top experts who are all passionate about teaching. The videos are all well produced. Thousands of video courses literally at your fingertips, and you have access to all of them with the lynda.com membership. And you can kind of do it at your own pace. Everything's kind of structured so that you can hop right in. You can use their live transcripts to tap into a particular point of the video, or, and jump right to it. Or you can, like I said, watch from the beginning and watch it chapter by chapter and just get smarter in the process. There's tutorials that you can, watch them on the go, including access on your Android or your iOS device, and you can create playlists of courses that you want to watch and customize your learning path so you can share that with your friends, your team members, your colleagues, all that kind of stuff. And it's just awesome. You should check it out. It's lynda.com. Your membership gives you unlimited access to training on hundreds of topics, all for one flat rate. If you're looking to become an expert, you're passionate about a hobby, or you just want to learn something new, definitely check out lynda.com/allaboutandroid, and you can sign up for a free 10-day trial. That's access to all of their videos for 10 days. So you can get as smart as you can for 10 days. Then you realize, I want to keep getting smarter, and you'll sign up for a membership. That's lynda.com/allaboutandroid. And we thank them for their support of All About Android and the Twit Network. All right, without further ado, let's jump into the arena. Yeah, let's do it.
Any day.
So many enter, but only one lives. Android Arena.
This is a show.
Yeah,
You're so lucky your voice can go that low.
It's impressive. Yeah, it is impressive. And he's been able to do it for years.
I know. It's man.
So, all right. Well,
I work on it a lot, actually. It's kind of depressing now that you bring it up. Spend a lot of time working on that voice.
All right, Batman.
Last week's arena, I feel like if I should get a special award for not only getting the poll up, but getting the graphic up and getting it pinned to the community. I did everything. I did everything. But somehow, Stop, Breathe, and Think wins. Somehow. I have a feeling there's a little bit of chatter in the discussion of the poll. We need to reiterate the rules of the arena.
Really? Are you seriously?
Is that
people just want to meditate. Android is a really stressful operating system, as we were just talking about earlier with updates. People got to meditate with all this lack of security patches and everything.
I'm sure they want to meditate. But just to reiterate, the arena is not a popularity contest about which host you like the best.
Yes, it is.
It's truly which app do you like the best. So
everybody wanted to meditate.
Just put it out there. So Stop, Breathe, and Stop, Drop, and Roll won with 44%. VHS Camera came in second with something, and then the third one, and Jason moves off the screen, so now I can't read it. So, and that gives our totals through 39 weeks. Flo is in last with 4, although there's a little asterisk because she just traded in halfway through the season. Guests have got 10 wins, Ron, so no pressure there. Jason's got 11 wins, and I'm still leading with 14 wins. So there we go. Just 13 weeks to go, people. 13 weeks. And do we skip
13
a week in
chances.
Did we skip a week in the holidays? There's only 12?
I don't know.
We got to look at the schedule. We got to see.
We could.
Anyway.
I don't know. So what does that mean? So then does that mean you go first because you are the returning loser?
You weren't here. That's just because. All right, fine. I'll go first. That's fine because I got a good app.
The returning loser has to pay in some way.
It's fair. It's fair. Although I was popular once. People used to like me on this show. Are we using MHL? Can I use that?
Yes, go for it.
All right,
do
cool.
it.
So I'm actually going to throw on my touches so you can all see the settings of my phone. Hold on. So I was looking for an app, and I had an app I was going to use, and I was all excited for it. And then this morning, I saw this app come across, and it's only got it's one of those 500 to 1,000 installs. So we're getting on the board early. And it was just a really clever application, really bad app video though, and I hope they improve that. So don't judge it by the video. In fact, don't even roll the video, Josh. But if you're like me, and we were talking earlier in the show, as Flo has hurt her neck because she's getting old, and Jason and I are already old and achy. One part of growing old is your memory goes. And I cannot tell you how many times I will just be walking from my apartment to the Muni or to wherever, and I'm like, oh, I gotta call that guy, or oh, I gotta pick up batteries, or oh, I'm out of dishwasher stuff, and it comes in your head and then just goes away. And like I will go to the store and I will buy groceries and come back like, I didn't buy batteries. So the folks behind the Click Me app, which is free in the Google Play Store, have come up with a really clever, intuitive way to allow you to remember things. And also they've tied it to phone calls specifically. So what they've got is they've got this really neat interface that, because quite often you'll talk to someone and you'll have a conversation, and the I thought I said not to show the video. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it shows good stuff.
It's
it
all
probably
right.
just
Yeah,
doesn't
exactly.
sound.
But I can't tell you how many times you'll be on a call with somebody and you'll say, "Great, excellent. I'll send you that document as soon as I get back to my desk," or "Yeah, I'll let you know how it goes by the end of the week." Now, informal poll: how many times do you actually follow up on that thing at the end of the conversation?
I always forget.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Right. So what this does is, it actually, as soon as you hang up the phone, it gives you a pane to immediately put in what that action item is. And so as a GTD person, I'm really excited by this. So what we're going to do is I'm going to log back into my phone, and we're going to make a phone call, and we're actually going to see it work. If I can ever enter in the PIN to my phone. Okay, so Josh, you can take my phone. All right, and I'm going to call my local wings place.
Wings.
All right, and because they're a business, and so I can prank them. Okay, so I hang up with them, and then, I guess you actually have to connect. Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. See? So as soon as you hang up the phone, it gives you this screen, and there's this little countdown of what you got to do. But it says, remind me in an hour, or I missed it. But basically, it tells you, as soon as the call ends, it gives you 10 seconds to then say, remind me to call this person back in an hour, or to do something, to email them in 2 weeks, or whatever it might be. You can go directly into the app itself, and you can set up reminders as well. So here, what I can do is, Wings, it gives you the last call that you made, assuming that that's the context that you're in. I just had a phone call, so I want to let the guys know, and I need to, order wings.
We're getting wings tonight?
Maybe. You can attach a photo, or you can add a voice note to it. So if for some reason you're taking notes, you want to take a picture of the whiteboard or something like that, or you want to use the voice commands to actually load in the voice, you can do that. And then you can specify from 10 minutes all the way up to 7 days away, and it will automatically add a reminder to your Google account's task list. So it appears on your calendar.
Oh, good. So it's not some sort of other app.
It's not some sort of, it's fully integrated with your Google account. And so what's great is that, so let's say I don't need to call Wings. I don't need to let them know anything. You can go back and you can go through your other contacts and select other contacts. You can set up a new reminder. You can go back and you can look at all of your reminders. So for example, here, I need to buy milk by tonight, or I need to call my sister. Or you can see your completed ones. I haven't completed anything yet. You can trash them. And from that area, what you can do is, here you go, from buy milk, you can either say, yes, I've done it, or call whoever you need to, or text them, or add more information, or check it off as being completed. And then it moves it over to completed. And then, and you can also see your trashed ones if you need to. And I can say, just trash it. And it goes from there. So that is Click Me. A great way to remember to do things after you have a phone conversation or after you do something on your phone. It's a handy little app, and it's free in the Google Play Store, and it's brand new, so check it out. It's very cool. So.
Kind of what you do in meetings, right? You end the meeting and you end it with like, all right, here are all the tasks. What we walk away with, this is the action item.
And that's what drives me crazy. As a productivity nerd, that's what drives me crazy. Is like you have this great phone call with somebody, like, okay, yeah, excellent, yeah, I'll update the document, I'll send it to you, and then you never hear from them. Like a week goes by, like, hey, did you ever finish that? And
let me get that to you.
Yeah, exactly. And then they frantically do it. And as somebody who's so focused on getting things done as a methodology, putting in those things and having it go into your calendar is just great, because it shows up and you get a reminder that, hey, in 10 minutes you need to do this thing. And they built it in a way to space it out, whether it's 10 minutes, a half an hour, 7 days, 3 days, whatever it is. It's flexible to your work schedule. So.
Oh, and sorry, I thought by not show the video, I thought you meant don't show the video because it's really stupid. Like show the video because we're gonna make fun of it now anyway.
Yeah, the video. I mean, it's nice. I like seeing new developers, and a video is really important. But if go home and watch that video, and it's like
there's something valuable to a good video on your Play Store.
I will give it
page,
credit.
Sure.
It does not have plinky guitar music. Which if I hear another app video with plinky plinky guitar music.
It doesn't have a ukulele theme.
Have you ever wanted to be reminded of when?
Okay.
Anyway, so click me. It's free in the Google Play Store. It's awesome.
It's very possible that my app has ukulele music, but I don't think it does on their video. I didn't watch the video. In fact, I'm pretty sure that it doesn't. It probably has like hardcore like EDM, like it's called Cosmic Watch. And if you like space, you're gonna like this. So it's actually kind of nifty, and I will admit. Hold on, I'm holding my phone upside down. There we go.
Whoa! Whoa!
Whoa! All right, so
that's cool.
Cosmic Watch allows you to take a look, obviously, at space and planet Earth, and in
God.
a lot of different. A lot of different ways.
Whoa.
Right now, you can kind of see
Look at
how
that.
the constellations.
That is so cool.
I feel like I'm looking at the Earth like Superman looks at the Earth.
Now this is real time. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a challenge, Ron, Flo. Well, maybe not Flo because it involves turning your head. But take a look outside. Is it dark out there?
It is dark out there.
Yeah. Now take a look here. Is it dark here where we are?
It is dark where we are.
Yeah. That's because this is tuned into real time. So you can actually go forward.
Is it actually tuned into the lighting grid too?
So I'm going to go ahead and do 6 minutes per second. And you can kind of animate into the future where things are going to be at what time. Kind of cool. I'll go back to real time there.
I like that the entire universe is a hollow shell around the Earth.
Yes. This signifies how only planet Earth is important in the eyes of the users.
By the way, Jason, can you pull up that time thing again at the bottom? Do we have to go 88 miles an hour to actually advance?
Yeah.
Put in November 22nd, 1955.
Oh, right. Wow, I wonder.
October 21st.
Actually, yeah. Why? Yeah, I want to see this.
So it'll allow you. So what is it? November 22nd, 1955. Mm-hmm. Will it go back?
Right. Oh, this is weird, like European dating. I was going to say, what month is 22, but yeah.
Yes, right. Yeah, you're right.
Well, in Europe.
November 22nd, 1955.
November 12th, 1955.
Oh, November 12th.
Yeah. Thank you for the correction.
And then we'll pause. I think there. Now I don't know what we do, but we're here.
Yep.
Anyways, all right. So you got all these different modes, and I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy space, but I'm not like, check out all this knowledge I have about space. There's a lot of stuff that this app does that probably flies over my head, but it's really cool to play around with. You can kind of take a look at some of the different ways to visualize everything. Again, I couldn't tell you exactly how it is, but you can bring in different layers that lay over the top of different aspects of what you're looking at. That's kind of cool. Clock face, seasons. Yeah, I'm turning it all on. I'm going to make it look even cooler. Solar system. There we go. It's not just Earth. It is the solar system, and you can take a look. Just a cool way to kind of have the universe in your pocket. Thank you for that lower third. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Cosmic Watch. It's $4.25, so it's not necessarily an inexpensive app, but I think it's just one of those apps that you can
just take a few Google surveys. Set up for that.
Exactly. Interstellar gas and dust, long exposure.
Now, can you use this with the outside world, like with the actual galaxy that is above us?
That's a good question.
Because
like a stargazer.
I love nerd camping, like just going with a telescope
like looking
and
into the sky,
realizing that you're such a small little piece of this universe and that you're actually very insignificant.
There's an Earth button, I'd imagine.
Yeah, or a sky button maybe. No, there's a sky button.
Just options for Earth. Okay.
Yeah.
Go back.
Earth.
Go back.
I have
Earth is gone.
Sky.
You've destroyed it.
Sky. Take that off. Take that off.
Oh, cool. Look at that.
Open sky.
There we go.
Open sky. That scares me.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, it's a lot.
This reminds me.
Jupiter.
This reminds me, Jason. Can you go to Mars?
I can't.
I saw The Martian this weekend.
Oh,
it was very good.
Here, let me go to Mars here. That 10 and 11 is really big.
Really.
I've got a layer on apparently that I need to take off. There's Mars. Let me get in on.
Oh, look, there's water.
Oh, hey. I'd take
California would like some.
Yeah.
Anyways, see, you can get lost in it, and it's a lot of fun. Cosmic Watch, $4.25. Enjoy.
How hot is your device right now?
Not too bad, actually.
How hot is the Kindle Fire? Not
if I was running this on the Kindle Fire, on the Fire, it would be a different story. All right, so let's see here. Ron Amadio, why don't you go next? You were the winner, right?
Yeah, I'll go
So
last.
you'll go last. That's the winner's. That's the winner's prize.
It's fine.
Ron Amadio,
well,
you're up next.
Speaking of apps that will melt your phone into a small molten puddle, I picked Hearthstone, which is a trading card game from Blizzard. This is it's not just a fun game. It's kind of like a cool sign of how far Android gaming has come. Like, this is a top tier PC game that has been shrunken down only a little bit to fit on your phone or tablet or whatever else.
Speaking of which, Kindle Fire check, we are currently still installing Hearthstone on the tablet.
It will never run.
It is still installing. There it is. There it is.
disappeared.
All right, there you go.
Oh
Ready?
my
Go
goodness.
ahead.
Here we go. We're going to do it live.
It will take like 2 hours to turn on, I'm sure.
Ready?
Even regular, even on a high-end phone, Hearthstone is like a big deal. Like, this runs on a computer. Oh my God. that
This
changes.
device is below the recommended specification to run
Do
Hearthstone.
it anyway.
And
Is
they
there a
run
do it
slowly.
anyway?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, it's never going to turn on.
Oh, this is like
All right.
wow
Okay,
on
we'll
my
check
first
back on
computer.
it.
We'll check back.
It did
Okay,
take
here
a
we
little while to get things loaded, even on the Nexus 5.
By
So
the way,
it's-
if I curl up in the fetal position, it's because Ron's doing a game that's related to World of Warcraft, and I have PTSD. So I hit level
So-
60, and now I get the shakes. So.
It's okay.
So,
I
right,
broke up with a
the-
boyfriend on World of Warcraft. That's a story for another time.
So the full title is Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft. So there's all sorts of like World of Warcraft, the characters and lore and everything else. And it's by Blizzard Entertainment. So it's a super polished game that's really fun. It's a card game, so it's kind of like it's a little bit like Magic the Gathering. Cards have health and attack points. So yeah, tap on your cards and you can drag the one out there. So you have mana. All the cards cost, a certain mana cost, and you get more mana every turn. Hit end turn, the little green button.
Oh, I can't. It's because he's sleeping. I have to wait till the next turn. Got it.
Right, yeah. So you play the guy, he rests a turn, and then the next turn you can hit the dude in the face. This is just the tutorial. But usually it's like a multiplayer game. You play against somebody else on the internet. And there's no like voice chat. There's no text chat. Nobody can call you like a big ugly jerk or whatever. So you're strictly, you and they can emote. They can do from canned emotes, and that's it. Yeah, hit the dude. There you go. So yeah, you kind of run your dudes into each other and you fight over board position, and you can cast all sorts of spells. And the audio design is amazing. All of the cards are like little characters. Like they make noise when you play them and when you attack people and when they die. And there's all sorts of famous Warcraft stuff in there. Leroy Jenkins will come on and like charge.
Of course he will.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's really cool. Wait, do you have how much does Arcane Explosion do? It does 1. That won't help. Go. You can hit the guy in the face. It's a tutorial guy. He sucks. So yeah, drag up. There you go.
Yeah, hit him in the
Okay.
face. -3.
So you have your little warriors, and the goal is to hit the guy. The goal is to get the other person down to 0. Oh, you missed 1 damage. All right, hit end turn.
Man, now I play World of Warcraft.
I know. I've been playing Heroes of the Storm, by the way, which is like kind of like giving a heroin addict a little bit of speed.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun.
So this is the tutorial. It's not as fun as the real game. The real game, you have like cards interact with other cards in different ways, and you get all sorts of crazy combos. And there's like a huge community around this game. There's Twitch streamers and a million YouTube videos and everything else of just all the crazy interaction of spells and powers and everything else in this game. And there's live tournaments, and you can win money and all sorts of stuff. It's crazy. It's really fun.
Oh, and now I want to get past the tutorial. See, I played it long enough to get past the first part of the tutorial. I was like, okay, cool. I got past it, and then it can be normal gameplay. But I did kind of get bored of the delays. You know what I mean? It's like I play it, now I got to wait for him to say something smarmy at me, and then I got to play.
The delays are the worst part.
It is a lot of fun. I know a lot of my friends
it's cool.
who both played Warcraft and didn't play Warcraft. So like it definitely scratched a lot of those itches. And I gotta say, it's playing kind of smooth on the Kindle Fire.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah,
you've got it on the Kindle Fire.
I've got it loaded. Okay,
There's no way.
So right, and I can. Doop. It's not too bad.
Wow. And yeah, just what's so cool about this is it's not a crappy cell phone game. This is a for real game that people play on, big computer rigs. And, when people can do anything at all with their time, they will actually play this game, as opposed to most smartphone games where you will only play this if you only have your smartphone and are really bored.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, this is an actual fun game that people want to play. And it's kind of addicting because you need to build your card. You build the amount of like cards you have and make a deck and all this other stuff. It's fun.
It's they learned a lot from Magic the Gathering. It's almost as if they perfected it on the online version, and with the whole Warcraft universe. I mean, that's a ton of great characters and stuff like that. I've purposely not played this game
because then we'd never see you here.
Pretty much.
Yeah, we need to see you here. Right?
I know. Yes.
Cool. That is Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft.
All right, it's free, and then you can spend money on packs, so it's kind of like free to play. You don't need to, but you can.
But you will. But you will end up spending at least $125.
And you are going to need about 3 gigabytes of free space on your phone to run this game. So good luck.
Seriously, you need that much space?
It's super big.
Yeah, it's
wow,
huge.
so that's why it took so long to install. That literally took most of the show to install on the Amazon Fire.
Yep.
All right, cool. Hearthstone, check it out. Okay, this one, people may think it's been on the show.
Yeah,
but
we had a discussion about that this morning through email.
Snowball. I featured Snowball beta months and months and months ago. Well, probably at this point, at least a year, if not longer.
Yes.
This is it's like a different app. It's like the evolution of it, but it has nothing to do with the old app.
Right.
It's different entirely. So go ahead and show it off.
Are you tired of messy notification shades? Do you need to get your life in check? That's what Snowball Smart Notifications is for. And that's pretty much it. That's my spiel.
Okay.
Yeah, I cannot stand it when I see screenshots and they're like full of all these notifications that need to be cleared. I'm constantly clearing notifications. It's a really bad OCD that I do. So now I just have an app just fix it for me. I can choose what notifications I want to see and what kind of get hidden away. It's super easy to use. The only thing that you have to take into consideration is that it will replace the notification shade that you currently have on your phone. In my case, because I'm using a GS6 Edge, that's good news for me because I'm not using TouchWiz. And you have all the little quick settings in there, so everything still kind of, works as it should on the phone. But I mean, other than that, it's a really self-explanatory app. It's just a nice little utility to hide things. I've used it to hide Instagram notifications. I've used it to hide app updates.
Why do you not want Instagram notifications?
Because some days are just too much for me. And all of my popularity.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Interesting.
Says the narcissist who takes selfies.
Learning a little something about Flow today. Do you have it running on?
I do.
S6 right
now? That's right. I forgot we have a camera here, and also I totally can't turn. I hate my life. Let's see.
Okay, there it is.
Here we go. I got nothing important. That's it. Wait, where's the camera? There we go.
There we go.
Yep,
yeah,
nothing important, and look, it has little quick settings, so you can do. It has little.
It was interesting when I found this. I showed it off on Android App Arena a few months back, and I was just kind of impressed because I hadn't really seen any apps that give you a different notification shade. I just always kind of thought that was off limits. That was something that couldn't be done. But I think what it's doing, it's doing an overlay over the top of it. I believe that's how they're doing it. So it's not actually replacing it. It's just they're over the top of your normal notifications.
The only bummer is that it's kind of hard to use. I'm not selling my app by saying this, but it's kind of hard to use. I
like it. It's just kind of hard to use.
No, it's easy to use. It's just that I was driving today and I had my maps on and I couldn't swipe down to turn up the brightness on the AMOLED because this thing gets so freaking dark, which is good. Thank you for that, Samsung. But then I couldn't actually see the directions. So I had to just turn on the Bluetooth in the car and go by face.
So how often are you interrupted by the real status bar? Like how well does that work? Because replacing the status bar is a little funky.
I'm not interrupted by things I don't care about. So it's not going to tell me about app updates that...
No, I mean, do you try to use it and the regular status bar pops up and
No, it just it wouldn't swipe down. I didn't know what was going on. It could have been because I was driving and using my phone at the same time. Please don't tell this to HP.
Don't do that.
actually illegal in the state of California.
I would agree, Ron, that it's pretty good. I understand what you mean. Like there were times when I would put a replacement like lock screen on old versions of Android, and you turn on the screen, and every once in a while the normal lock screen would appear, and then it would load the replacement one on top, and it felt kind of kludgy.
I can still use the touch.
This pretty much worked almost every time. The one thing that I did notice, and I think there was a way to turn it off if you saw it, is sometimes the toast messages, or I can't remember the official name for it in Lollipop. What's that? Yes, the peak messages would appear. And smart notifications would be on top of that, but if it was just the bar, the status bar that you were seeing on top of that, you'd see part of the peak, and then you'd see the smart notification on top of that. That was the only weirdness that I encountered, and that, like I said, I think there was a way to tweak that in the settings, and I hadn't at that point because I didn't know you needed to. So that was the only
There's not a lot of settings in this app. It's pretty bare bones as far as setting goes.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. And I had not seen, like I said, a tweak to the notifications pane.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, you're allowed to replace like just about everything other than really the status bar and, you know, the kind of system UI stuff, recent apps and all that. So that's really neat.
Yep. All right, I've just been informed that, wow, we've had a really long show.
We're approaching the 2-hour mark.
This
I don't
is
think we've
becoming
ever
a
done
habit.
that.
It's becoming a habit.
Well, we had a lot going on.
I'm
this
surprised
week.
we haven't heard my stomach growl.
I know,
The mic always picks up my stomach growling.
Well, then I guess we're going to go get some dinner. AAApoll.com/234 to vote for your favorite app. Do so, and then we'll check in on it next week and see who wins and who loses.
Pick Hearthstone.
Why are you looking at me?
I know. I wanted to make you feel weird.
It's my arena competition to lose. I don't want to be the Nationals in this scenario. All right, I'm the Mets. Let's keep that clear.
Sorry. Vote for your favorite app, not your favorite person.
Exactly.
Whatever. AAApoll.com/234. All right, that is it for this week. Let's say our goodbyes and move along. First, beforehand, I definitely want to give another shout out to Justin Baum and the team at Wove. Thanks for coming on the show and showing off some awesome technology. Hopefully, we'll have them back when they have the fully, designed device.
I'm gonna try it on to see what it looks like.
A glimpse of the future. That was amazing.
I'll wear my David Bowie inspired outfit that day.
That'd be great.
I think it would work.
You should. I was thinking of doing the same.
Yeah, angles.
Ron Amadio, always a pleasure, man. It's so great to get you on the show anytime we can. Thank you.
Always awesome to be here. Thanks.
Right on. Okay, so now your book is done. What are you working on next?
My to-do list next is auto backup, which just worked and backed up almost nothing. But I'm gonna deal with that, and then we've got Nexus devices out forever, and then who knows? It's gonna be a fun couple weeks, I guess.
It's a busy time. Right on. Well, we'll be watching, and we'll probably be talking about your stories on the show because we usually do. So thanks for doing what you do. ArsTechnica.com, and of course you can follow Ron on Google+. Search for him on Twitter. Ron Amadio. Easy to find.
Yep.
Cool.
I like that the comments on the poll already. The first one was, wasn't Snowball already done? Thank you, people.
There we go. That's why we said the thing that we said. Ron, what about you?
All right, yes.
The other Ron.
You can go to the other Ron. I really should buy that domain, the other Ron. And it could just me like writing haikus about Android, the opposite of my good friend Ron. Anyways. But yeah, I don't do that. I do other things. You can go to about.me/RonXO where you can follow me on Google Plus and Instagram and Twitter and all that fun stuff. And check out my day job over at getdrop.com where we're doing cool stuff in the smart kitchen, as well as my new show that I've been talking about that I've been flogging. Go subscribe to Goodfellas Minute at goodfellasminute.com where we're analyzing the Martin Scorsese picture 1 minute at a time. So
wow,
yeah, good times.
Intense.
Yes.
You're not doing that inside of tents,
no,
but rather it's very intense.
Envisioning him inside of a tent.
It's actually far more fun than you'd imagine.
I can imagine. I can imagine. It would be. That's a great concept.
Yeah.
Flo, what you working on?
I will be working on making my back feel better,
Do that.
or shoulder, or whatever the heck it is that I hurt. Right now, I'm in the process of writing my Marshmallow review, so that's what I'm working on now. And
14,000 words?
No, not nearly as many words as Ron. But I was reading his review this morning for inspiration. So, we got that going. And then, of course, we have all the Nexus devices coming out. And I have like all these smartwatches to review. I just have a lot of reviews to catch up on.
No kidding.
So I'll just be reviewing stuff.
All right.
Oh, and soon, I will be doing my 6 months with the Galaxy S6.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what are you wearing? What's your smartwatch there?
Oh, it's a ZenWatch 2, the ladies version. It's for ladies.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah.
Dainty wrists.
Yes. We're so dainty.
Yep.
Excellent. Follow you at greenbot.com.
Oh, yes. That's where I work. I work at greenbot.com. Or follow me on Twitter at OhThatFlow. I'm just really hungry.
It's okay. So am I.
I'm just thinking chicken wings right now.
We're learning
Thanks,
lots
Ron.
of things about Flo tonight. We really are.
When I get it, yeah. And anyway, I'll eat fruit next time.
Or we have a wide variety.
Yeah,
of
I know.
snack foods. Josh, what about you? What are you doing?
Well, I am TDing all about Android currently. What I'm doing right now.
Good. I like it.
Other than that, it was funny. I tried the Amazon tablet. That's my first. The $50 tablet is my first actual personal device that I have running a version of Android, even though it's not really real Android. So I've been playing around with that.
Okay.
You know.
I'll just go ahead and say, don't judge Android as a platform.
I think
the worst possible Android experience.
I think the popular "it gets better" campaign applies here. So Josh, don't worry, it gets better.
No, actually, it's way better than I expected.
And so you have low expectations for Android.
Well, he's coming off of iOS, on iPad iOS, so there you go.
All right. Well, we hope that this will only blossom into you becoming an Android power user, and even if not, we understand.
One of us.
We'll accept any of you on this show, Josh. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any of
you're always welcome.
Any of his multiple personalities.
Join the winning team. We have 80% market share. So
it's true. That's true. As far as myself, you can find me at about.me/Jason Howell. Someday I'll do music at yellowgoldmusic.com. I promise. And otherwise, that is it. Twit.tv/arena for my other Android show, Android App Arena. But that's it for this week. Voicemails can be left at 347-SHOW-AAA. You can send us an email. That's AAA@twit.tv. We are on Twitter. It's at Android Show. We're on Google+. We have a community where our polls are hosted, by the way, so go check it out. We are on Reddit, twitaaa.reddit.com. We have all of our show notes, every link we talk about in the show, posted every week at twit.tv/AAA. That's our show page with past episodes and all that stuff. And we're live every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, live.twit.tv. That's it for this week. We'll see you next week on another episode of All About Android. Bye, you guys.